Okay, this time I don't think we're in 360 degrees. That is my that is my theory. So hello, I'm ABX Toy Cat. Welcome back to another live stream on the internet. If you're having a good morning, let me know, and we can play some Minecraft together. See, I'm gonna be placing a bunch of Netherrack on a mountain. Honestly, this is something I was gonna do this evening anyway, and I figured let's hang out and stream. I've been having like real let's call it not anxiety. Like maybe you want to use the word anxiety, but real like fears about starting like a stream recently, because it's like, oh, there are like obligations and stuff. Or you gotta, like it's really bizarre. I'm the only person in the world who feels like more. Am I 360 degrees this time? Okay, I'm not 360 anymore. That's good to know. I think I'm the only person in the world who, like, when someone tells me, like, oh yeah, there's this thing I really like, a part of me is like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, the idea of, like, having to meet someone's, like, expectation. Like, because if you're doing something no one expects from you, you can't depress anyone's expectations. Like, oh no, I thought when you placed the 10,000 Netherrack on the mountain that you'd also, no, you don't expect anything. You're like, oh, I guess Toy Cat's placing Netherrack on a mountain today. Is that his opportunity to talk about some things that have been in his mind? Or is he just going to respond to comments? Or is it all a ploy to get, tips because your boy Toy Cat loves money? Who knows which it is? Who knows what it is? I can tell you, I worked on a, one of the streams that, like, I totally forgot about. I think it was, like, I think Harrison mentioned it recently, where he was like, it's been a while since you did a cook of Toy Cat. And I was like, it has been. So I recorded a third channel video for that. That's, like, going to be really high video quality, but really bad, like, production quality. I actually burnt my... But I swear, for the first time while I was recording, I managed to, like, set off my fire alarms, burn really badly. Like, I burnt a lobster roll. That's like... you don't even cook the lobster, but I managed to burn it, which is fun. So yeah, my day's been a little wacky. And I just wanted to hang out, really. Honestly, the real reason I do these live streams is so I can do drink review live. I really like doing? I like reviewing various beverages that I find. I love beverages so much. Like, I know people use that term to be like, oh yeah, let's go for a drink. Let's grab a beverage together. But like, honestly, just like trying liquids that taste delicious. Maybe it's because my stomach doesn't like, there's only so much food I can eat, whereas I can drink like liters of water if I want to. Fun fact, drink water. It's good for you. How? Says Cat Beanie. I'm just really good. Scooch over, your face is getting cut off. Thank you for the tip, Myra V. Crimson J says, hope you are doing well. Glad to catch another stream. I'm glad to catch another one of your streams, except it's actually out. If you think about it, isn't this kind of our collective stream, Crimson J? If you really think about it, right? And trust me, I'm not thinking about it a lot, but if I was, that'd be the case. Strawberry and kiwi water for the win. See, I've tried flavored waters. It sounds like my thing, but it just never, like, works for me. Like, I had a strawberry water when I was, like, 8, and I've never had water that good since. Like, I think that's the thing with, I think there's a lot of, like, flavorless things where you trick your body into thinking there's, like, a source of, like, sugar or sustenance in there. First live stream I've seen, it was 360, says Simon Farley. Welcome to your first live stream. If you think about it, wouldn't all streams be better if they were 360? Wait. What I should do, I've got an idea. How about that white cherry Powerade, though? Oh, that one. Okay, see, it almost sounds like I'm being sarcastic or playing to an in-joke. That was delicious, especially, like, I was thirsty at the time. I needed that white Powerade. Also, that's a very niche reference to, what was it, third channel walking to the Vegas airport video. I love how the third channel's full of videos that just sound nonsensical. And I like that, again, there's no pressure in making them. I don't know why, like, pressure's been, like, on my mind a lot recently. Maybe it's because, like, societally, I'm finally under pressure. Because, like, previously, until, like, now, I've been in this world of, like, do whatever you want as long as you're, like, vaguely helping. Whereas now it's like, no, you gotta do stuff, or you get, we've gone back into that mode in the UK again. Like, oh, if you don't do X, you're gonna literally be killing people. Wow, you want people to die by working out, Toy Cat? You monster. You think mental health is important? You monster. Mental health is fake health. Is the 2020 view. Also, thank you very much for the tip. Let me find it. I think it was via Streamlabs, which is something I appreciate. I think I see it. Wait, do I see it? I don't know. I know where it is. Winry, I tipped early but didn't show because of the live stream. Oh, I started my live stream just on your tip, but It was check your Twitter. This is what you look like right now. Okay, I'm gonna check my Twitter. I can't share it with the stream though. I need to work out a way to share. Oh, there we go. I look like a big brain person. It's very, very fun. Oh, by the way, that video is gonna get posted live. So can someone leave in the comments like, oh, this stream failed, but Toycat is streaming here or something. Also, good to see you, Pookie Hounds. I have low expectations, so you really can't disappoint me. Don't be anxious. Also, keep your expectations tiny, and you won't be whiny. You know, if there's one thing that I'll remember forever from you, Pookie, it is keep your expectations tiny, and you won't be whiny. Keep y'all expectations tiny, and you won't be whiny. I can't do it.
I have low expectations, so you really cannot disappoint me. So don't be anxious. Remember, keep your expectations tiny and you'll be less whiny. Here is your allowance.
All I want is everyone in my life to say the same thing, Kat. Just be like, I have no expectations of you. I think so little of you. I mean, like, I'm trying a mean bent on it, but like, I actually do think that, like, you know, if everyone in my life was just like, you know, I'd be okay with you. Because, you know, people say that all the time, but they don't really mean it. Like on YouTube, like, oh, Toycat, I'd watch a 50-minute video of you just talking about boats. And it's like, you know what? Or like planes, because like planes is one of those weird subjects that come up in live streams. Is that a good thing? Also, Chantal says, I went to Starbucks twice then. I got the same drink both times, so I understand the beverages. Right, I think the entire model of Starbucks and by extension like Pret and Costa and what are the other big ones in America? Actually, in America, is it just Starbucks? I can't name another major coffee chain. Like that, like, I guess coffee tea and bean leaf or whatever it's called. Bean leaf and tea leaf. I feel like that's big on like just drinks. But like, you know, the fact that they realized early on, people who want coffee is not just people who are addicted to caffeine. That's a big market too. But people who just want something tasty to drink. Because like consuming, the cool thing about okay, you know, I like your non-Minecraft videos. Thank you, Cat Beanie. But I wonder what the significance behind Beanie as your name is. I'd love to hear that sometime. Pret exists in the USA too. It only exists in the East Coast, I think. Like I was really shocked when I saw Pret a Manger, and that's its name. I like to think it's Pret a Manga though. Alien Toycat beats Xbox 360 Minecraft in 360-degree view. You know, I'm just saying, Elias Lawson, isn't that a $1 trillion stream idea? Is that not? Is that not? Coffee and I are BFFS, says McBella78. Yeah, I think my assistant's addicted to coffee as well. I very deliberately, like, I'm really lucky because I can just, like, if I'm dead in energy one day, I'll be like, you know what? Rather than starting an addiction, what if I just didn't do a thing today? But I'm thinking for, like, the next few days, I'm gonna, like, go on a coffee binge. Just because, you know, I wanna get, like, I wanna feel some caffeine addiction sometime. I've told my caffeine story a billion times on YouTube, but, like, I've only ever been at a stage where I over-abused caffeine. And like to the stage where it didn't even do anything. Because if you take too much caffeine, you feel tired. So I'm hoping if I start drinking coffee, something about the ritual is going to be good. The only expectation I have of you is that you'll troll us at least once per live stream. Oh, I love whenever I start a stream late, people are like, oh, he's just trolling us, clever Toycat. And it's like, yes, people assuming I'm smarter, people assuming that it's actually a clever ploy. You are what I like in the world. Like, you know, I've always thought whenever like a movie's like, oh, here's an intricate movie detail. He planned for us to see this and he thought that we'd see it this way. It's like, there's no way. This is just someone bit like the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones. Someone just made a mistake.
To judge anyone else. For example, just dumped macaroni on the floor. Merry Christmas.
You know, there's no point crying over spilt milk products, am I right? Is macaroni cheese technically a milk product? I feel like it technically is. You know, I'm gonna take that as a thing. I have high expectations, but would happily listen to you talk about planes for 90 minutes. I feel like, wait, I'm gonna try and take Pookie's phrase here. Keep your expectations high, and you won't feel fine. No. Keep your expectations in the sky, and you'll have to be that guy. As in that guy who's like, you know what? I heard that there was gonna be coffee dip. Wait, coffee dip? Coffee and dip? My parents call me Beanie. I wonder how names like that develop. Usually there's like, I don't wanna like, you know, every time I hear like family nicknames, they've like mutated so much that you don't understand. It's like pets, you know, where like, oh, the cat's called Jack, but then also we call him Jackie, but then we went from like Jackie to like, ooh, who's the key? Kiki. And we're like, you know, like, there's always dumb stories like that behind pretty much every like family name. Because when you know someone for long enough, and like animals, you don't even have to know them. Animals, you just have this one-sided conversation with. Who's a good boy?
Is not really fun. My ex used to get migraines every Sunday unless he downed a soda. Merry Christmas again.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna die on this hill, and I'm gonna die on it fast, because like people who, the sorts of people. Okay, you know. Okay, well, let's be precise with my wording here. Also, I'm gonna take all of this dirt just because like I need dirt anyway. I'm running low on my stockpiles. I'm so confused by people who can get their caffeine intake from soda, because I've checked and I've confirmed this multiple times. I've checked, I've double checked, I've triple checked, I've gone into the you know, like but like the amount of caffeine that's in soda is so small that I genuinely think the sugar does more for you than the caffeine does. Cause like I don't know, I'm convinced that like there's something about coffee where you associate the sugar plus the liquid plus the caffeine, and like even though also there's a lot of dirt under here, huh? And I'm convinced that there's something about that that makes people go, oh yeah, it keeps me awake. And it could be that like, oh yeah, I guess caffeine does a really interesting thing to you. Pat, I once dumped a whole kilo bag of couscous on my kitchen floor. I feel your pain. I'm sympathizing. Also, my name is Cakehead in my house. See, right? Like everyone, nicknames are so bizarre. They just go down. They grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and then they stack and stack and stack and stack to the level where you're like, oh, now we call our daughter Winry, which I don't know. Is that a real name? I'm not sure that it is, but we call our daughter. Also, I guess we're just gonna dig up the entire mountain if we do this. I should probably stop, shouldn't I? I thought I was just picking up a giant like patch of dirt, but I'm just making the mountain hollow under here. Which actually, that's a really good idea for after I'm done with this. If I ever need dirt, I can just like hollow out the mountain. But again, we're gonna have to do this in various stages. So for now, let's just put all the dirt in this chest and take out some more of that stuff, and let's go. My mum calls me Rara, says Ezra. See, because I guess you're in the early stages of your name developing, Ezra, because Rara's gonna become like, oh, you're like the Egyptian god Ra. Well, I guess Rara. Rara's like a tiger makes, so we're gonna call you Tiger Ezra, or just Tiger, you know. And then like, oh, Tiger becomes Tiggy, and you're like, oh god, how did that get there? Like, I'm always fascinated by like the origin stories of things. Because if you just heard like, oh yeah, Winry's called Cakehead, it's like, oh, because she likes, you know, she's a big fan of cake, and like she's like a coke head, but like a cake head. But I'm convinced that there's always like more steps. I guess I'm Tiggy now. Ooh, Tiggy. I learned. I watched a YouTube video about why animals always have names like that, and the reason is because like cats especially. I think dogs too respond to the like E part of the name, like, you know, if it's like Andrew, it's like Andy, or like if it's like if it's Ice Maiden, it's like Icy. I do that. I have a lot of fun doing that with my girlfriend sometimes, just being like, you know, let's take names, let's turn them into things. Like I have this great idea. It's definitely not her idea. Of like, you know what, name a cat Borga. And I don't know. All my friends' nicknames are derived from bastardizations of their surnames, says Elon Musk. Oh, that's a weird American thing to me. Like, I know so few people who are referred to by their surnames. Like, I think the show is Recess. In Recess, everyone in the show besides, I think, TJ, which I guess is his first and then his last name, and I guess Gus is a first name too, but everyone else like has their last name as their like main name. It's like, oh yeah, we call her Spinelli because that's her last name. And it's like, wait, how does that happen? What's the scoop there? My name is Mike, my whole family calls me Boog. Toycat is spot on here. Right, someone in my family, I genuinely wish I knew the story behind this. My aunt is called like Floppy Top, and it's like, what was her top floppy at one point? And it's also like the evolution of nicknames. Because, you know, nicknames can evolve. One of my friends, like, no one calls him anymore, but it was called, like, for the longest time, he was just called Waffle. And then, like, that evolved into a bunch of things. Like, it evolved into, haha, remember when that blue waffle thing was a craze? He got called Blue Waffle. And then, you know, like, then... there's a lot of, like, weird permutations on names. Yeah, so anyway, I was talking of beverages, because beverages are excited. My friends call me PN, the way you pronounce it, or Pinot. Pinot sounds like... My first response was, ha ha ha, dirty. But my second response is like, actually, that sounds like the wine, right? Like Pinot Grigio, or whatever. My mum calls me Miss, and in a shop one time, she said, get out of the way, Miss, and a random woman almost fought her. Oh, yeah, I don't remember, I feel like the whole, like, accidentally having someone, like, getting on your in-joke is, like, a common thing. Also, thank you very much to your boy, Winry. I guess your girl, Winry. You're not, your person, Winry. Winry is indeed my real name. However, it may or may not be my real name. Wait, it is a real name, but it's potentially not your real name. I was called Cakehead because I wore a hat that looked like nothing like a cake, but my dad insisted I was Cakehead. So I was like, oh, you had... And then, like, to reinforce the joke, it was like, here's a thing. Oh, here's a pro tip. If you ever have a nickname you don't like, this is my, like, I guess how to avoid bullying tip. It obviously isn't going to work for everyone. I don't want to pretend like, oh, I've got the get out of jail free card for it. But everyone thinks the best way to stop someone from doing something they don't want to is be like, no, I don't want it. Oh, this is going a dark place. But, like, that seems like it's the best way. And, like, for certain things, it's really good. For people you like, telling them you don't want them to do the thing anymore is the best way to stop someone doing a thing. That is my... You know, if they respect your opinion and they respect your wishes, that's what they'll do. But not only does everyone who likes you not want to respect your wishes, but also there are people who don't like you, who don't really care about your wishes. And so my pro tip is make it very awkward for them to do their thing, you know? In school, they call me Metal Man because I'm not Iron Man, says your boy. Nice. The name everyone IRL calls me is a freaking dead name, and it's really annoying. Trick is, get them to find a name that will bully you, you know? Like, give them a name that they can bully you with. Like, don't give it to them, but, like, make it real obvious. Like, you know, if everyone calls you John, because that sounds like a dead name to me. I mean, everyone who has the name John is dead, so... Like, if your name is John and you're alive, like, what was it like being born in the 1900s, you know? Is your last name Smith? What's the scoop? The lake needs more magma in the water. You know, also, Recess, her first name was Ashley Spinelli. See, her first name was... Wait, the full name was Ashley... Wait, one sec. Ashley Spinelli. Did she have a last name, or is that literally her... No, her full name was Ashley Funicello Spinelli. So therefore she's clearly Italian. And therefore there's some, like, fun immigrant politics mixed into her character. You know, you tried to trick me, friend. My mum calls me Pookie, so Pookie Helms' name has always been disconcerting. I'm convinced that, you know, Pookie is really, like, the start of a nickname that just became a real name. Because the interesting thing about names, right? Legally, like, everyone thinks to change your name, you have to, like, go through the whole deed poll. Like, changing your name should be a really complex process. But honestly, you can just kind of, like, have your name... You know, like, a lot of people just go by a different name than their legal name, and it's entirely okay. Because as long as it's a name that's recognizably you... Like, if I say that my name is John Smith, everyone's going to be like, that's a fake name, and it's fraud if I try to go off as that. But as long as I've gone by John Smith for a long enough time, like, stage names are a thing, but also, like... the way names work is very interesting. If you want your legal documents to change, you have to go by deedpoll or whatever. But if you ever want to just change your name, just tell people to refer to you by your new name. That's my, like, big life pro tip. And if they ask, just say it's a legal name change. Like, oh no, are they going to check the database and find out that you're lying to them? That's my pro tip. Whenever someone asks if you're doing something legal, just say yes. It works all the time. My mum calls me Toot. It's insulting, to be honest. Did you make a toot that was too loud one time, Pygol? You know, your name Pygol, that sounds like it would be a nickname like, oh yeah, so I ate a pie one time inappropriately, and everyone's like, well, guess you're a Pygol now. And then, because the internet, Pygol. I was 6 when I got my nickname. I conveniently lost said hat at Disneyland. My friend's name, you mutated to Nobby. And then, oh god, I missed the mountain because of that. My friend's name mutated to Nobby. And then, and then to Hobag. I'll stop tipping now, Lamau. I don't know how that took me so long to read, by the way. Or even actually, I didn't even know you could send so many words in a tip. But you know what? I don't turn down tipping because you know what I say? Money is good. Big fan of it. Huge fan of money, in fact. Welcome to the Toy Kitten Club, new Toy Cat wife. Hey, thank you, Ice Maiden. I agree. Snikes are delicious. Welcome to the club. I hope you enjoy your new little exclusive title of member. Member when members weren't called members. I have no idea what that woman was thinking. I should ask her. It's definitely they wanted to accuse you of a fart, but they couldn't. So I have a question for everyone watching right now, because I never put it together that it was weird until very recently, because I'm going to South Africa in January for a variety of reasons. Actually, for no reasons. There you go. 0 reasons. But anyway, I'm going to South Africa in January, unless there's some crazy stuff that happens between now and then. And one of the things I realized, like thinking back, is I had so many South African like adults in my childhood. So in my school there was like 4 South African teachers, and they're all very different in terms of their South Africanness, which I thought was interesting. Like they all looked entirely different and sounded entirely different, etc., etc. Psych, says Winry. And like they all had little like stories about South Africa and like, oh, it was really dangerous there. And I was like, you know what? Everyone says that where they grew up was dangerous. But it only hit me later like, oh, they were being deadly serious about how deadly their country... Oh, wait, they were being very serious about how deadly their country is. Deadly serious maybe isn't the right word. Psych, says Winry. You know what? You think you've psyched me? I've psyched you. I hope you're doing well, Winry. You know what? Is Winry really a real name? I don't believe that it is. My name is 28 letters long and sounds really posh, so I go off Katie instead. Anyone who gives you a 28-letter long name is begging for you to emancipate. Is it emancipating? Yeah, emancipate yourself from them. That's saying because the thing is like, the longer a child's name is, the like more important they sound or whatever. But you don't help the child with that, you help yourself. You're like, oh, my child Alexander and Bellingham will get the mail for you. Whereas like Jerry is like, yep, Jerry does what Jerry wants. And I've always thought that having like, the richer your parents are, the more expectations they have, which like, it's a good thing because it means on average you achieve more, or like you could argue it's a good thing, I guess. But also like, you know, that must suck to be like, you know, I just want to like play games and, you know, like eat pasta. Why do I have to be expected to, you know, what's with all of this? Jerry is Gerald usually. Yeah, I would love to name a child like the simplified version of a long name. Like instead of Alexander, Alex. Instead of Bellingham, which is definitely a real name somewhere someone has, probably, right? I mean, it has to be. I mean, I can't just make up words, can I? I mean, I can, but I didn't. I've got the name Jerry exists with a J. Jerry. Yeah, Jerry with a G is weird to me. I think I've met one girl once with Jerry with an I, like G-E-I. You know, names, they're interesting, huh? But speaking of beverages, so I went to, just before like things got weird in the UK, I went to visit my friends who live in a different part of London to me. And they're in their part of London, they live in like a crazy rich area. I don't want to dox them. But they live in a much richer area than I do. And so they have a store dedicated to beer. And like, I guess that sounds like, I guess actually it's interesting. Like alcohol is both a fancy thing and a very like not fancy thing, entirely depending on context. But they had a fancy beer store, and I hate beer. I've gone over this many times. I've tried on stream before many types of beers and despised them all. But I have something new for you today, chat. I have an idea. Everyone says my name wrong. I'm used to it by now. It says Elias Lawson. Bellingham is a city in Washington, says Forest City Mapping. You know, I'm going to name my child after that city in Washington. Bellingham, why don't you fetch the mail, honey? And after that, could you maybe make a jam? I don't know what my impression of fancy people is, but it's apparently that. Chelsea probably says, here's Chrissy. I wish I had friends who lived in Chelsea. Wait, chat, if anyone's watching this from Chelsea, do you want to be friends with me so I can use you for your area? Is there... Actually, wait, there's no tube line going through Chelsea, I don't think. I know there's a Kensington stop. I'd have... You know, basically, I don't have friends who live in Chelsea, but hit me up. If your name is Chelsea and you have rich parents, you know, hit me up also. Very, very willing to sell my soul in exchange for some of that sweet family money. Actually, wait, your parents have to be, like, dying if you want to hit me up and maybe get married or something, so I have a chance of getting some of that cash. Anyway, so, I have friends who live in a wealthier part of London than I do. And so they have a beer store, and I hate beer. I've gone over this many times. I want to like beer, but I don't like beer. It's very... me. You know, my rules are simple. I like the idea of, like, because it's the same thing. It's like a beverage that you can enjoy, but, like, while also doing other things. A meal, you're there, like, no one wants that in their life. You want to just be like, yep, this is good. Yep, this is really great. My name is Chelsea, says James O'Neill. I feel lied to, James O'Neill. I see a lie right there. I live in Surrey, does that count? Surrey does not count, here's Chrissy. It does not count. Is the beer store bargain booze? It is not bargain booze. It was a little bit fancier than a bargain booze. Anyway, so beer isn't nice. I like drinks that taste sweet. Yeah, I've got a sweetness addiction that people don't believe. They're like, ha ha ha, you kind of like sweet things, huh? It's like, no, I live for sweet things. When I have a sweet drink in my hand, everything is good in life. When I haven't had sugar in a day, I genuinely like, I'm not like, ha ha ha, so quirky. Like, I legitimately feel like, what is the point in living? Like, again, not ha ha ha, quirky when you say you want to die. Suicide's a funny joke. No, like, I genuinely, like, get depressed if I go a day without sugar. I have a full-on psychological, maybe physical addiction. Winry says, I had a hosp app today. I don't know what a hosp app is, but, where in South Africa are you going? It's a stunning country. I am going to, Cape Town. Oh, yeah, there was a whole story I was going to say, but, like, does everyone else have a bunch of South Africans in their life? Or is it, like, do I live in a part of the UK where there's just a bunch of South Africans? Like, I want to know the story with South Africans and me. Because, like, there was no South Africans my age. It was all, like, not my age. White Claws are a little bit sweet. I like those. You know, I wanted to try White Claw, but it doesn't sound like it'd be sweet. It sounds like it would taste like water. What's the best or weirdest name you've had? What did my... Oh, I had a really dumb name from... Yeah, I actually don't... I had a really dumb name from my parents. Everyone in my family used to call it too. No, don't remember what it was. Sorry. Dumbest weirdest name... Oh, wait, you've heard. Not had, I'm sorry. When are you leaving and coming back? It's going to be in January. You won't notice I'm gone. You know what? If I die, no one would know for a week or two. Like, I'm using January as my opportunity to learn to drive. And then to go to South Africa. Actually, if I could learn to drive before I go to South Africa, I could drive in South Africa. That'd be cool, right? I feel like you're safer driving in South Africa than other forms of transport. Like, everyone says avoid the trains. And it's like, but I want to get around. So maybe I should do that. They're not sweet. My boss is South African. My boss is from South Africa, and he has this problem with his vowels. Yeah, that was a bad South African. Please don't get murdered in Cape Town. And because of COVID, you're not allowed to get within 6 feet of me, and most murder methods require close distance. If someone gets too close, I'll be like, sorry, regulations, mate. You know how it is. And then they'd have to step away. Yeah, so, would you rather live in Russia or Brazil? Probably Brazil over Russia. Russia's very cold and very... I feel like for most people it's not authoritarian, but, like, it has that authoritarian vibe to it that I'm not a big fan of, personally. Like, I know it definitely isn't. I feel like one of the cool things I've learned from the pandemic that I feel like has always been true, and I've always intuitively felt was true from my days of, like, as, like, a tourist. Because, like, even when I was in Russia, I was like, there was this fence at one point I wanted to climb over, and I was like, shouldn't do it. Because, you know, don't want to be arrested in a foreign land. But I was like, you know what? Most of the time, most crimes are, like, go unpunished. Not unpunished. Like, most crimes that don't harm someone, people don't consider a crime. It's like, you use the fact that it's a crime to get someone later. And so there was this fence I wanted to climb over, because there was this, like, perfect photo vantage point. But I was like, you know what? Didn't want to do that. But in retrospect, I feel like most laws are just like, when you annoy someone enough, you can get to them. And therefore, unless you're like literally in North Korea, where the percentage of people who like, you know, you need to have a crazy high police percentage before like most people are persecuted. Like, you know, let's put it this way. Even in the most like scary countries, for most people, it's just a country. It's just a normal place. It's just to me, what makes a country scary is the more people who are considered like under the scare level versus not, right? Or maybe that's crazy talk. You tell me. Anyway, so I can't find any of the things he reads in chat. Kind of suspicious, says N White. You caught me. The live stream's pre-recorded. I make up all the names and I hope that someone comes with them. Were you being kicked down for your birthday? For my birthday, says Ezra Morgan. I don't know, honestly. I know everyone hates this, especially like in COVID times. You gotta be like, everything is very deliberate. But it's like, I'm gonna look like a few days before I have to get a COVID test, because obviously gotta be negative if I'm going to another place. Yeah, I don't keep track of dates. Especially because like in this case, it's like, there's so many things that could cancel it. There's no point being excited. It's just like, oh, when I'm on the plane, I'll be excited. The airline that I'm flying genuinely might go under because of the current situation in the UK. So it's like, I might not even... So it's just like, whatever, let's not think about it. I've been to South Africa 8 times. 6 out of 8 times I've been robbed. Be careful, says here's Chrissy. Okay, without offense, here's Chrissy. On the 7th time you went and you'd been mugged at least 5 times, what would, you know, like... Okay, let me phrase this better. I feel like maybe you're doing some... I don't want to victim blame here ever, right? I don't want to be the guy who's like, people who get crimes committed on them are the bad people. But like, at some point, at what point are you making a repeatable mistake? Can you eloquently pronounce Galasso? Also, I hope you don't die in a car crash. I hope so too. You know, I wanted to ride a motorcycle because like more personal. Like, I feel like it's like more of a, like, I like the idea of like a vehicle that just lets me go places. But then I was like, someone in a car is gonna disobey a rule and it's my life that's gonna die. Actually, wait, would you rather murder someone or be murdered, chat? Tell me now. I wanna hear your thoughts. Murder or be murdered? Because I remember there was a distinct moment in my life where I switched over from wanting to be murdered to wanting to like murder someone. No, I guess you wouldn't want to murder someone, ideally. Like on a moral level, I'd rather be murdered because I don't like prison. But if I thought that was even like a chance, like in terms of moral conscience, I'd rather murder. Okay, wait, we got murder. Don't want to be on a watch list, says Jadal. I've given up on telling you to be safe. Go get mugged, preferably in a way that gives you a concussion, says Pat Merriman. Whoa, so mean. I'll do that. No, I'm gonna be safe in South Africa, I assure you. Actually, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be safe. I actually do know. I've got like, I have this plan in a few countries. Okay, so more people say murder than be murdered, which shows that we have a preservation instinct, maybe. But a few people say murder, which is interesting. My tax dollars give prisoners food and stuff, so I'd rather go to jail. Then you'd be living off other people's prison food and stuff. No, that's the thing about. I know this is dumb. I know there are so many other issues of prison, but my biggest issue of prison is like we spend a lot of money like looking after the people that we vilify as the worst in our society. And like obviously like I think their human rights are important. I'm not saying I don't agree with their rights. I just don't agree with the fact that we pay for it, you know? Like if they want to pay for their own, but then you're like, okay, how are they going to pay? And then you're like, oh, but they'll do a job. Then you're like, oh, so you have to infringe their rights for them to do a job because prison labor is for some reason like paid pennies on the hour. Like you dive into it and you're like, oh yeah, prison just sucks and there's no way around it. And also, you know, and why don't we just arrest fewer people? Why don't we just like try to not do that? Also, look into scooters, they get through traffic easy. Oh no, but the problem is like, again, if someone else breaks a rule, I die for it. You get me? Like, if someone else doesn't yield at a roundabout, I die. And that's not what I want. So look, it says longboi here. Because, fun fact, the longboi is on sale for, longboi is on sale for, what is it? 3 days and 1 hour. 3 days and 1 hour to get yourself a longboi at the link in the description. They're so cute. They won't be on sale after that time. There will be never again. This is a one-time run. They have to like individually. It's a whole thing. They're individually made. It's very cute. I love them. And you can have one of just 500 or so of these things that exist. If you want a limited time item, you can do that. Anyway, so by the way, I saw someone respond with, as a Christian, I guess getting murdered is more intelligence, as Vikel. Yeah, if you believe in an afterlife, you definitely don't get to the afterlife if you commit murder. So it is objectively smarter if you do to... Actually, you know, I feel like that's one of the benefits of religion, right? Like that little shift in decision making. If you think entirely based on self-pleasure, if you like pleasure off right now, then like murder is of course going to be a much bigger thing. George Carlin came up with a good way to take care of prisoners. Oh, I don't know the George Carlin prisoner bit. Also, thank you, Bill Tube, MI6 agent here. We have you on a watch list. I wonder what the official stats are. Like, I've said this many times before. Like, I would love to know how many people would say they would rather murder than be murdered, and then if you put people in a situation, like there are so many unethical human experiments I would love to do. Because you know how polling works, right? If you take 1,000 random people, as long as they are truly random, like the problem polls have is they can't get truly random polls. But like if you take 1,000 random people and you extrapolate from their data how they vote, you can get a pretty good feel for how the election will go. Obviously, if you want to do like a country of 300 million, probably best to do like 10,000 people, not 1,000. But the levels of confidence you can get from really small results is really impressive in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because I would love to do unethical human experiments. Like, let's put 2 people in a cage. Let's say whoever is alive in, 24 hours is let out, and just see how that goes. Again, terribly unethical. Terribly unethical. But, like, I'd love to see the end result. And tell them if both are alive, they'll both be killed. And then their families will be hurt too. Like, let's put, like, real incentive for them to want to die or be killed. And then see how they, like, argue it out. I think a good movie for this is The 100, I think it's called. It's that weird low-budget Netflix movie that's all in one shot. Hey, I'm Catholic, so long as I get to confession after murdering and before I die myself, I just get a little bit tortured in purgatory. You know what? Wouldn't you rather have a lifetime of eternal bliss than a few little... I guess a lifetime of eternal little torture sounds like, don't know if you deserve that. I like the idea of purgatory because, like, I think it shows an important thing we need of, like, you know, there are bad people. There are people who do good. I'd say actually there aren't bad people. Well, maybe there are. I feel like there are just people who do good things, and then there are bad people, or like people who do bad things, let's say. But I think most people could very easily switch between them based on their incentive structures. There are people. It's like the thing I was saying about like people who are, people who drive, bike, walk, etc. They do it because it's the best method for them right now. If you make it easier for them to catch the bus or to walk or to whatever else, that then people who drive aren't all drivers. A lot of people who drive are just like, I want to get there. It's the fastest way. And so I think a lot of people aren't like inherently good people. The situation, I've heard so many people who said like, oh yeah, anyone would have done it. I just did what I had to when doing something heroic. And I used to not believe them and think like, oh, stop being so modest. It's such a cliche. But it's such a cliche and people still say it, right? I just try not to be a douche. It works for me. Who says we haven't been murdered already? Maybe this is our afterlife. If your afterlife was watching IBX Toycat streams, then boy, do I regret what you did during your life. Also, HOSPAP is a hospital appointment, and I'm eligible for the chronic pain treatment injections. I'll be able to start in 2 to 3 months. Hey, I'm happy for you. You know what? Chronic pain is bad, and fixing chronic pain is good. That's my hot take of the day. 10 out of 10 would commit crimes against humanity if morals didn't exist. I mean, morals only exist as much as you need them to. Like, it's interesting because morals are very, like, fluid. I think... Okay, no, in modern day society, there are some people who argue based on, like, oh, yeah, I really don't like people from X group. They all deserve to be murdered. I think a really common one that you still see every now and then is like, oh, yeah, the gay thing's not natural and that's why I don't like it. It's not, I don't hate the people, I just hate the acts that they do. And it's really interesting because it's that example of like, even though their morals are clearly not lined up with the rest of society, and even they're not even lined up with like historical society, even like as recent as like 2,000 years ago, you know, Greeks have been, you know, if you look into what the Greeks did in terms of being gay, it's like, ooh, that might be a little bit too far actually. You know, they went further than modern day society as far as like allowing it. You know, like everyone had like their own little personal like 13. You know, let's not talk about it too much. But there was like a lot of weird stuff that went on in ancient Greece. And you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, so it's not like a new moral concept. Moral concepts are fading. We've gone arguably backwards since ancient Greece. I would argue for the better, but I argue for the better because I exist under our current moral system. I think there's lots of things we do right now that are like, you know what? I think in an absolute moral sense are probably not great, but we tend not to go by absolute morals. We tend to go by relative morals because we live in a world of relative situations. Like things are happening based on people who live right here. Like okay, this is I used to find it interesting that like we all had this moral thing built in because it's like rather than thinking about why do we all think about how things. Also, Twitch banned the word simp. You can say the word simp as much as you like in my live stream and not get banned. Are you happy? Please explain your plan for dangerous areas, says Myra V. Oh, yeah, sure. So I wanted to talk about the whole, like the technicality argument of, like, well, technically speaking, we're all 13.8 billion years because matter is neither created nor destroyed. Or energy is neither created nor destroyed. And then go on a fun tangent about that. But instead, so what is my plan for a dangerous area? Because, like, in my life, I've been in scary places a few times. And I used to have the attitude of, like, I just won't care and I'll see what happens. And then I was mugged in the Dominican. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was kind of stupid there. But also, rather than just assuming that I'll be able to learn 100% from this, let's have a plan for the future. Because as soon as my phone was stolen, I, like, immediately... as soon as my phone was stolen, I, like, ran after the guy. And it's like, you know what? Probably had a gun. Statistically, according to Dominican gun stats, probably had a gun. If I had caught him, if I was good at what I was trying to do, would have been dangerous. So I tried to think like, okay, if I'm somewhere that I think is dangerous, because I think all of us have like a sketchy meter that goes off. Everyone has like a sketchy meter, right? Like, ooh, it's real sketchy right now. I don't want to be here. This has gone off for me like a billion times in my life. But so whenever that goes off, I like get into like, okay, here's my plan. If someone, you know, because even though most of the time when you're in a sketchy area, things will be fine, but not every time. So always have like a plan. And my plan is have a wallet that is, let's say, filled with cash, but like, you know what? I've got a wallet that I'm ready to throw down. Whenever I travel, I have a travel wallet specifically that only has, it has my EU health card that doesn't work anymore, I think, post 2019. Actually, wait, let me check if that works. EU, I think it's called an EHIC. Yes, it's called the European Health Insurance Card, and basically it means that my UK healthcare covers me abroad, which is fascinating that the NHS would cover. It's like a reciprocal agreement. Like, if I get injured in their country, they'll give me healthcare, and then if someone from their country gets injured here, they'll give me healthcare. So I lose that card. I lose a small amount of cash, usually like about $50 worth of the local currency. I lose a credit card, which I can freeze immediately on my phone. And then that's it. I think I also have like a card that I use to get into airport lounges, but like that's like everything, right? So I lose those things and it seems valuable and like we're all good. I keep my real wallet only when I'm going somewhere like I know in the UK or in maybe some places in mainland Europe. I'm going a lot. But like basically when I mug, you know, I know how to ask for both wallets. Oh, but I literally don't have the second wallet with me when I travel. Like my main wallet that I use that has my driving license in, that has my, you know, my all-important Tesco club card. Would hate to lose that. Has my ski membership card. What else is in my wallet, actually? I wish I had it with me. But that card, that wallet, I only travel with in the UK. Why would you have things in the fake wallet at all, says Lizzie S. Oh no, like you don't understand. It's a real wallet. It's just a smaller. It's like let's put it this way. It's like if I had a fake phone, but I actually used the phone when I traveled. It's a travel wallet. I thought you don't have a driver's license. Oh, I have a provisional driver's license that looks exactly like a real driver's license. I'm so convinced that most countries, if I went with my provisional license, they would just let me drive a car. Like, especially like the sketchy countries. I haven't tried it yet because I'm very worried about committing that sort of crime. Because you can't argue like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I had a driving license, but I didn't. You know, like, that seems like a serious thing to commit. It's a decoy wallet. Exactly, it's the decoy wallet. Now we know when to mug you. Again, I want to clarify, I only ever have one of the two wallets with me. Like, wallet 1, wallet 2. Anytime I'm going anywhere that has even a chance of being sketchy, I bring wallet 2. And when I'm going to the store to buy some groceries, because I know the ways around there, I know how to not be sketchy, I bring wallet 2. Sorry, wallet 1. Sketchy countries. I think it goes without saying that certain countries have, like, especially when you go to a country that has a significantly lower income per capita, because people think that the thing that causes crime is like bad people. I think the thing that causes crime is, absolute living standards. Like, oh, if you were poor, you'd mug people too. No, it's relative inequality. And so when a tourist, like, again, I like to, if you earn $30,000 a year wherever you live, which is it's a below average salary for the UK. It's probably below average for America too. If you earn that amount in a year, you probably think of yourself as being not well off. But if you go to a place like the Dominican, if you go to a place like, what is the average salary in South Africa? Average salary, South Africa. 486,000 rand. How the heck do I convert that? 486 rand into USD. $33,000. Wow. Actually, you know that. But like, because there's such inequality there, like if you find someone who earns $3,000 a year, you're 10 times richer than them. Plus, you're probably richer than average from your country. And it's like, imagine if someone who earned $300,000 a year came past you and they had a phone on them that was worth $10,000. They had a wallet which had $50,000 worth of cash or whatever. When you need to bring two wallets because the crime rate is increasing in your country, says MC Ricks. I never use the second wallet in the UK. I feel really safe in the UK, even though there's like this area near me that like I've actually had friends mugged there, but like I'm 100%. Like I'm not gonna get. I'm very I'm very good at like blending in incognito in the UK that I maybe can't do in certain other countries. If you feel me, I won't talk too much on that one though. But I feel like I can blend in much better. You know what? Fun fact: I don't wear my 9/11 was an inside job T-shirt when I'm in other countries. Yeah, I bet you wouldn't have guessed that. I bet you would have guessed that I totally wore that. So anyway, with that said, sounds like me in Miami. But like, yeah, it's like when you're let's put it this way. When you are, relative inequality is what causes crimes. And so when you go to a country where the average earning is significantly below your country, you're putting a giant... It's not like, the reason it's a target on your back is because, like, yeah, they question why you deserve what you have. Maybe that's a questionable line of thinking, but it's like, when your neighbor is 10 times richer than you, and you do the same job, you're gonna think why. You're gonna start to justify that you probably did something bad to get there. This is I don't personally like it. I think it's like, I think the concept of envy is one of the ugliest things that humans do. But at the same time, it's one of the things we do anyway. So like, you know, we are very, sometimes envious, but sometimes like we use, you know, like, because everyone knows that envy's bad. So what we do is we morph envy into other emotions. Like, oh yeah, why do they need to earn 10 times more than me? They're just greedy. Like, I mean, if I compare myself to other YouTubers, right? There are, you know, take the person, you know, like, take someone who literally cheated recently and be like, oh, I can give you a fun fact. Socialblade.com/ I'm hoping I hope they earn exactly 10 times more. So if there was someone, hypothetically, that was caught cheating in Minecraft, they earn significantly more than 10 times what I did. They earn more than what I earn in a year in the last 25 days. And then you could like scale that down and be like, you know, I bet there's a YouTuber earning more than him by the same ratio. And therefore you're like, oh, do they work 25 times harder? No, they don't. Do they? No, they don't. They don't. I bet they don't even work 2 times. They don't even work as hard. Why am I, you know, like we go down a rabbit hole when we do that, right? Maybe you should start cheating then.
You have inspired me to make my own decoy wallet and fill it with used gift cards and Chuck E. Cheese ski ball tokens. I would also put a bunch of pictures of random middle fingers in it.
Oh, that's a great idea. The idea of like putting like like decoy dumb stuff in my wallet. The only reason I don't put like angry things like that is because I've been searched by I think like New Zealand searched me once, Canada's searched me twice, and America's searched me like 3 times. And I think China took like a few glances at me more than they wanted to. And so because I'm like suspicious, I don't have to answer why there's a bunch of middle fingers in my wallet, because otherwise I love that idea. I love the idea of someone mugging me and then like being able to have the last laugh of knowing they hate me and they're like, ah, oh, the money's fake. Why are there just middle fingers here? Yeah, anyway, with that said, I you know, you know, like it's very easy to like jump down the rabbit hole of that. And now imagine I have this opportunity to take like 1/10 of their success rate. You know, the money they earned in that last 25 days that took me a whole year to earn. Let's just say I could take 10% of that, and all I have to do is do one bad thing. Yeah, actually, you know, on YouTube, I could actually do this. If I made a call out video that explicitly called, you know, if I called him out, I gave evidence as to why, and I was like, people, go unsubscribe from him, go give money to this thing instead. Hypothetically, you can literally create that in the online entertainment world. And, you know, it's easy to be like, well, why shouldn't I? And it's like, well, again, that's why I think we aren't bad people, but it's really easy for good people to start justifying bad things. And I think, for better or for worse, I'm not even going to say that, like, oh yeah, when your neighbor earns 10 times more than you and you can't afford to eat, that's going to be even more extenuating, right? And in South Africa, that is just the reality. It's the most unequal country. You get cancelled, we can't afford that. You can't get cancelled in 2020. We all know that's we cancelled cancelling. It's all being cancelled now. What deadly sins do you think define you the most, says Ricky Porn? Oh, whatever the one that is eating too much. I think slovenly, maybe sloth, greed. When I go to the store, I just buy all the things. I just want to eat 5 meals a day and lay down and, you know, like I feel like I'm my best as a human when I'm not indulging. Like, I just want to drink something sugary. Actually, wait, chat. So I went to a beer store in a fancy part of London. Toy Cat, are you gonna address the mass banning going on in Bedrock? Send me a tweet with any evidence. I've heard nothing off that, so of course I'm not going to address it. I'm also not going to address the pirates in Somalia, and I'm not going to address the fact that, you know what, I don't think that Notch is even his real name. So maybe speedrunning isn't the only aspect where Dream cheated, Capo. See, right, that's like, if you are envious, if you are a Minecraft YouTuber, especially a Minecraft speedrunner who puts in a lot of time, wouldn't it imagine starting to think like, yeah, I can't believe, you know, like, he's more successful and he did it on a lie. Maybe that's not the only thing he's more successful and lied about. Maybe there are other things he cheats at. You know, I put loads of work into the YouTube algorithm and he doesn't probably put as much in. Or maybe he does, but like, why does his work? It's because he's cheating, that's why. Like, again, this, like, I like to call it like the almost the politics of envy. The way envy corrupts your mind. Like, it's the reason, there's a reason it's a deadly sin, right? It's not because it's bad by itself, it's because it's bad what it does to you. Taking, what is the most deadly drug? I don't know. Heroin's not bad for you. What heroin does to your life is bad for you. You know, like, food isn't bad for you. Eating too much food and what that does for you is the thing that's bad. Oh, there's a chest over here. Oh, I remember this chest I put in my world in like 2013 and I was like, I'm not going to open it ever again. Because I knew it would confuse me when I reopened it. Okay, you know what, chat? I can't resist. If you want this to be spoiler-free when you download the map, by the way, a little story about that. Look away now. But what's in the chest is... Oh, that does confuse me. 4 fire charges, 2 glowstone dust, and an ink sac. It looks like a face almost, I guess. Okay, let's not think about it. Let's not think about it. Heron's actually really bad for you, though. I think doing it once isn't... Like, see, right? The side effects of it all are bad for you. You know, I hope you enjoyed that, chat. I hope you enjoyed that little thing. Dreamer's close personal friends of Susan. Right, like, you start to think about, like, what do they have that I don't? And you don't stop... When you compare yourself to other people, you never assume that they're more virtuous than you. They don't have more good traits than you. You start to think... Because, you know, no one thinks that they're bad. No one thinks that they're not doing as much as they can. So, like, if I'm being as virtuous as I can, then the reason someone else is more successful is because they're doing things that aren't virtuous. They've got those inside links, etc. And it goes down with the whole thing. I would possibly envy you more if you didn't constantly freak out over the possibility of your income stream just evaporating. I don't know if you're... I could read that 2 ways. One way is like, you're saying I'm unnecessary freaking out. Or maybe you're saying, I would envy you if that wasn't a real fear. But there's 2 ways I can take that. But just, I'll try to address both at the same time. Yeah, I would love my... honestly, I love my situation right now. I've kind of just accepted that, like, I have to be very willing to know that literally 6 months from now, no one could know who I am. Literally 5 years from now, I could require a second job to keep the lights on. You know, stuff like that. Realistically, like all of my non-essential bills I can pay, like, you know, I've been trying to work on, like, sustainability, like, making today's income pay for the future, stuff like that. Like, I've been working on investments and trying to make a way where I'm not going to die or starve, you know, again, I don't have to starve while my neighbor doesn't and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, basically, I've been trying to work on that. But, like, that's the interesting thing about entertainment as a whole. People... Like, you know, I just mentioned how, like, I want to keep on bringing it back to this guy. Like, you know, this one human who everyone knows, but just in case not. Like, everyone has this same thing where, like, if I just earned a little bit more, everything would be so much better. If I earned a year's salary in 25 days, can you imagine how crazy that the only constant is change? Yeah, that's what I've had to accept on YouTube. Like, you know, rather than trying to pretend I know it all, I do not know it all. The one thing I do know is that there is going to be a lot of changes between now and there, and I have to be ready to adapt to those changes. I don't know how good I would say I'm pretty bad at adapting on a base level. It's something I've been trying to get better at for YouTube. It's one of those skills I'm trying my best. Proud of you, keeping your expectations tiny. And that's why I'm not whiny. You get me. You get me. Diversifying. Yeah, exactly. Like, my dream is one... Because so I read a blog post today. I don't know what, like, it's crazy. I read a lot of, especially rich people make a lot of blog posts because they're stuck in 2005 or something. But I read a blog post today. This is free therapy. I didn't order this golden ruler. I think therapy is important, and I'm glad you're getting it from a thing. Don't forget, the stream is sponsored by water. Wow, water is great. And if you go to your tap, you can use Toad Toy Cat to get 10% off. Ooh, very good. I did not mean to suggest your fears are unrealistic. Sorry if it came off that way. Oh yeah, I feel like, especially from the outside, I get a lot of people who, like, strongly assume, because, like, it seems like you're, you know, on the internet, when it comes to social media algorithm stuff, it's very hard to talk about them without sounding like you're a paranoid, crazy person. Like, oh yeah, there is an algorithm that decides how many of the people who choose to sign up for my stuff will see my stuff. That sounds like insanity. Like, no, Toy Cat, I watch your stuff and I like your stuff. It's because I choose to. I click your videos, and it's like, if YouTube didn't show you my videos, would you still click? Would you still go find them? And I was just like, yeah, of course I would, probably. And it's like, would you do it every single day? You know? And it's like, how many days would it take you to notice? Like, how do you know if I haven't posted a video or if you just haven't seen it? How do you know if I'm not streaming or if YouTube just hasn't showed you the live stream? And your answer is like, oh, I guess I follow you on Twitter. And it's like, so we know that bare minimum, 90% of my subscribers are entirely within that YouTube ecosystem. And that's okay, fine. And then you're like, okay, out of those people in that ecosystem, even the ones that would say like, oh, yeah, of course I would follow you somewhere else. It's like, well, saying and doing are very different. Like when I watch entertainment, I'll be honest, it's there for comfort. It's hard to make the investment, it's hard to make the commitment to like, I'm gonna go find this new thing every week. One of my favorite YouTubers isn't actually a YouTuber, or like he started YouTube now, but one of my favorite YouTubers is Yahtzee Croshaw. He basically sold out from YouTube in 2005 to write for another site. Every week I had to check that site, and eventually I just stopped checking the site because I checked YouTube instead because it was easier. And then I forgot that he existed for like a few years, and then came back and it's like, oh yeah, and like thank God he was successful enough that it didn't matter. But that's like a real figure. Like when you describe stuff like that, it sounds insane. And then you consider like even there's a lot of like random chance that you're very aware of on YouTube. Because in the real world, if you own like a store that sells pans, is a pans a thing? Pans are a thing people would sell. Would you have a whole store for pans? I don't think you would. But if you had a store that sold pans, you would probably assume that people come into the store because like it's known as the store for pans. But it's probably random chance how many people enter the store on a given day. It's just that everyone within a certain mile or two radius. Also, Ice Maiden says followed on Twitter. Sub with notifications turned on, but sometimes you don't get the notifications anyway. See, right, if you go through all of that effort and still you don't get it, it's like, oh yeah. And rather than being someone who's like, okay, and this is why you need to donate to my Patreon, which by the way, I didn't realize, I started one forever ago because I was going to make a podcast and then never used it, but technically speaking, wow, did you know I have a Patreon? I have one Patreon on there. It's very exciting. I just do miss your streams on the weekends with my nieces all day. See, very, very tragic. You miss it, and who knows if you're missing one or if it just isn't happening. You don't know, that's for sure. I'm gonna follow all my favorite YouTube creators on Twitter specifically so I can support them, says Timberflame. Yeah, that's always my recommendation. Like the other half of YouTube is Twitter. YouTube's trying to make itself the other half of YouTube with community posts. But I think for the foreseeable future, if you want to see what YouTubers are up to and you want to guarantee you see their stuff, I like Twitter. I like Instagram as well. Anyway, so Toy Cat, come here and give me a hug through the screen. You know what? Here you go, Matthew Ford Daniel. Here is your hug. Oh, this is such a nice hug. Okay, so I went to a store that sold beer. I hate beer, not very tasty. And I went in and I was like, the guy said, let me know if you need any help. And I was like, oh, thank you. I won't. I didn't say that. But like, whenever someone says, let me know if you need help, I'm like, oh, please don't do this to me. But I looked around and it was like such a big beer store and I just couldn't deal with all the choices I was being given. So I was like, okay, Mr. Beer Man, I would like some help. And I said, I despise beer. I hate it so much. Pick a beer for me. Pick a beer for the non-beer loving man. And he's like, have you tried a stout? And it's like, I like sweet things. That's why I don't like beer. I don't think the beer isn't beery enough. The problem with beer is that it's too beery. What's your least beer? This is my legitimate conversation. And so he gave me two recommendations. One was like a Belgian beer that was cherry flavored. And the other recommendation is this one, which is from, I'm assuming the UK. It says Northern Monk. But it's, if you look at this can, wait, I'm going to go full screen here. I think. If you look at this can, it looks like this. Oh, you can't see the green because it's green screened out. But it's, wait, let's go into a llama. So if you look at the can, you can see that like, oh, yeah, it's got rainbow fuzzy belts on. And it's meant to be, you know, rainbow belts, the candy, you know, like gay bacon strips, whatever you want to call them. Like sugary things. It's flavored like those. And so I can't, it cost me £6 or something dumb. And it's like, this will not taste like beer. No one who likes beer likes this. It's very sour. And it's like, yes, I want to do this. I want to do my very best. So I'm going to be trying this drink right here live with all of you. Because beverage review of Toy Cat. I like beverages. Will I like this though? I mean, I'm inside anyway. Might as well get a day drinking hobby. It smells really good actually. It smells like the thing that it smells like, I guess like passion fruit. It's very, very fruity. We sell beer coolers here in Quebec that are just fruity drinks made the same way as beer, so it can be legally sold in grocery stores. Oh yeah, we have something called Radlers in the UK that are kind of similar to that. I love alcoholic drinks that are just made like soft drinks. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Just like maybe so many people are like, oh, you're meant to enjoy alcohol for alcohol. It's like, no, I enjoy it because because you have a conversation over it and it's a societally ingrained point in the UK. Not because of the drink itself. Anyway, so those things are so tasty. Let's give it a try. You gotta do some tasting notes. It smells like sour grape. Does it? No, it smells like passion fruit. A little bit of orange. I'm really worried because this is £6 and if I don't like it. Okay, so very beery. Very beery. Oh yeah, honestly, if it weren't for that, like it had an initial taste that was like, ooh, fruit. And then I was like, no, beer. These aren't rattlers, they're just legit fruit coolers. Oh, is rattlers something else then? I thought rattlers was what you were describing. You need to send me a link, I'm very curious. Maybe even a lava tank. Yeah, that was, okay, so here's the thing. There's 3 ways to enjoy something. One is a sip, like a little, one is like sip, one's like a little drop on your tongue. And the other is you drink a lot. Because alcohol tastes genuinely very different depending on how much you drink. It's not better, but it's not worse. Actually, I'd say it's a little bit better. I wouldn't say drinkable. Like, I'm going to drink it because it cost me £6. But, beverage review, not very good. Wait, Harrison, don't do this yet. But for, like, when I've reviewed enough beverages, make a whole video on the 4th channel that's just beverage reviews. I love how I can just call out Harrison in a stream, and he's like, I got this. He's the hero we all need in our lives. He's the hero we deserve. Oh, if you don't know, and you probably don't because you're not me, Harrison's been editing some more videos for the 1st channel recently. So if you like Store Saturday, the only reason it could exist is because he could edit on time. Because my assistant was busy having a real life. Ugh. Hate when people are doing things that aren't directly related to me. Ugh. Okay. Ooh. Drunk streams as Cat Beanie. Yeah, I was thinking we should do at least one before Christmas. I was going to do a drinking stream on Christmas Eve. But the only reason I want to stream in the Christmas period is because, like, I know a lot of people either can't be with their families or don't like their families and don't want to be with them anyway. And I think the value of chosen family is important. You're still placing these as post-box, Pat. There's so many Netherrack blocks I've got to place. I underestimated so much how many I'd need to place. Like, I've gone through, like, 12 shulker boxes now. And we just, like, over all of the streams. And there's just more we have to keep on placing. We love Harrison. Harrison is yes. You know what, Harrison, if you're watching this, read the chat. The chat loves you. Yes, beverage review, please. Oh, God, the aftertaste of this is so dire. It tastes in my mouth like I haven't brushed my teeth for 3 days. And I brushed my teeth earlier today, in case you're curious. Like, just in the last... Oh, God, this is so bad. I told you this would be the Bastion stream all over. Yeah, I decided to change the title from placing Thousands of Netherrack and simping for the longboi one last time to placing Thousands of Netherrack one last time. I made a mistake there. I'll admit. I made a big mistake. Oh, God. Anyway, so... Ooh. Yeah, it's no bueno. The bueno is very no. That much is for sure. Okay, let's try some more. Maybe it grows on you, you know? It's not growing on me. Oh. I want to find a clear container around here so I can show you what this is. Like like it's got a really tasty color. The color is delicious. The first 0.5 seconds of drinking this is like, yes, I'm in love with it. And then my body just thinks I've consumed beer and it's like, yo, we don't like beer. You don't want to drink alcohol, and if you're going to be drinking alcohol, it's not beer. Oh, God. Beer is so bad. I've always wanted to... Okay, you know what? My brother is, he grew up in the same, like, similarly poor situation as me. And, like, his way out of that is, like, he works in the city of London. Like, so he works with, like, bankers and... Like, literally, like, I don't know how he mingles with so many people from so many different fields. But he does. He's a very sociable person for the sake of getting connections. Anyway, so, my brother is like a city banker, so he, like, goes for... It blows my mind. This sounds like a joke. This sounds like a 1950s era thing. But one of the ways to, like, network in London is you go for a drink with someone. And he realized that, like, all of his bosses would get a beer. And if they asked what he wanted and he said like a cider or something, like for some reason there's like a genuine connection point you have when you drink the same thing that's lost when you don't. You know, this is why smokers, even though smoking is very bad for you, like smokers can connect more with each other than with non-smokers because they've got this same like addiction. There's this weird human want to fit in, almost. I don't know how to describe it. So he started like even as a non-drinker, he started like learning to like beer, and he gave me the tip that's just like, you've just got to really dislike it for a while, and then you'll only slightly dislike it by the time you're done. It's like, that just sounds so grim. That sounds like, honestly, to me, my backup plan was the same thing. Like, go work in some. I live in the like second biggest banking hub in the world. Like the reason London has so much money is because like all the banks. So there's lots of banks with lots of money that need people, that can look professional and say the things they need to get clients. That was always my backup plan, but it was literally the beer drinking part that made me go, I think I'll just be like my genuine backup career plan is like, I'd love to be a delivery driver. I learned how little like punishment for messing up there is. I like the tip culture of it. I like seeing cities and like cool way to see it. Honestly, I considered, this is very illegal, except in the EU. I think I can still work there. But like, if you want to go on a holiday, and like the type of, I don't like to go on holiday. I like to travel. I like to see new places. Also, I recently checked to see if eggnog would be better with alcohol. Verdict: didn't drink a quarter of eggnog in 24 hours. It's painful. Also, no. I thought eggnog always had alcohol in. Am I wrong about that? We don't have eggnog in the UK. We have Advocat. But I thought that was a thing. Also, it's like coffee. You have to keep doing it to appreciate it. Also, BuildTube says, from the future, Toycat is the next only use me blade. Yeah, it's cool being like one of the second or third. I'd say I'm like third generation of YouTube. Like I'm here in like the fifth, sixth generation, still surviving. But like if we say that like the first YouTubers were the 2005, 2006 era, like the Vlog Brothers, the people whose names you don't know because you've never heard of them because they all went crazy or died. The Philip DeFrancos, like 2005, did it before there was money. The second generation is like gaming before there was money, or first generation vloggers that were like, oh, I can vlog my life and it's interesting. Then the third generation, in my opinion, is when machinima got big and people started being able to make money in certain fields. I got into YouTube just before then, so like you'd probably associate me with that. Then the fourth generation is when machinima and all the multi-channel networks made it so you would make bank. Like YouTubers all of a sudden went from being like, oh yeah, you can support yourself, to you can run a giant multi-million dollar company via YouTube. Many companies exist that way. And then you got like the fifth generation, which is the last few years, I'd say, where like that's been known for so long, but there's almost like a reversion to people want to see things, like giant companies are fun. People love well-made content, but we're seeing a reversion to like well-made content on a really loose schedule, with like appealing titles that seems personable and like it's made by one person, even though it isn't. And that's where I put like the new generation of YouTubers into. Anyway, I don't know why I gave you an explanation of YouTube. You didn't ask for it. But yeah, the cool thing about being where I was is as I was starting YouTube, as I was starting to see my minor success of having 1,000 subscribers, I've never had eggnog with alcohol, says Nicole. Interesting. Is eggnog not an alcoholic drink? Am I doing cultural wrong? I give you a recipe of mine for baking something. You attempt to follow the recipe during a Baking with Toycat stream. Okay, you know what, Harrison? I've got some bad news. Cooking with Toycat, I don't think I want to do it as streams anymore. Like, maybe I'll be inspired again. But like, I think it'd be more fun to do it as like I'm doing a third channel video. I'm going to see what people think of it. But it'll be fun. Also, calling out the big storytime YouTubers, says Timberflame. What are the storytime YouTubers? I genuinely don't know what you're referring to. Like, I want to be calling out people, I'll call out people for cheating at speedruns all day long in very passive-aggressive ways. But I genuinely, like, I'm calling out the big storytime YouTubers. Oh, storytime, am I right? Anyway, so, there's this, the cool thing about being on, like, I started to get like 1,000 subscribers. I remember my first milestone that I was like, this is a real thing, was when I was getting 1,000 views a day. Not per video, per day. Like, let's say 500 per video, but like, the rest of my back catalog was 1,000 a day. And I was like, oh my god, this is like, this means I will always make roughly $1 a day. Which, you know, I know $1 a day is like, oh, that's not even enough for a child to live on or something. But it's like, that's like, there is now, even if I leave this forever, some real income. But if I can even grow this like double, $2 a day is now like, ooh, that's buying pizza. That's getting paid every month because you had to get 60 pounds to get paid in AdSense, fun fact. And then I remember the real one was like, when I hit like 10,000 views a day, and it was like, this will pay rent. It won't pay for bills or food, but I could theoretically move out and not be homeless just based on my cool hobby that I really like. And so as I was going through those milestones that like to me were huge, but like obviously to on the terms of full time or like, you know, yeah, you wouldn't call them huge today, I guess, but like to me it was the biggest revolution. As that was happening, YouTubers from like the second generation and the first generation, like a lot of first generation YouTubers just quit because they got a big payday or they wanted to go into things that weren't YouTube. But then I started to see things like, I don't want to name names, but let's name names. So you start to see things like the Wings of Redemption is being like, oh yeah, like building their lifestyle faster than they could build their income, and then losing their income because their lifestyle growth stopped their income. You see the Only Use Me Blades where it's like, what I really like drinking, what if I could get paid to drink? It's my, you know, I've turned my favorite thing in the world into an income source. You know, like they already played games, but the second favorite thing in the world was, or like I'd argue, probably liked drinking more than he liked things, and so he turned into that, you know. So he got used to be a COD YouTuber. Yeah. It's funny. You can always tell from the references I make that like I used to make Call of Duty videos and watch them and stuff. I try not to date myself. Like people are always like, oh yeah, I remember the Captain Sparkles and the Ant Venoms. I didn't start watching Minecraft videos till like way later. Like the first generation, the Minecraft Java video spanned like the Ant Venoms, the Captain Sparkles, the Sea Nanas. Like I watched one Sea Nanas Minecraft video. It was like a series called like, it was a series about trying to beat Minecraft. It was done in a really weird way. But I remember I was just like, this is not very interesting. He's throwing ender pearl, IF enders, and it's been 10 minutes. And he just throws another IF ender. I was like, you know, Minecraft videos, not my thing. But yeah, no, it's cool to see like people before you making mistakes as you know, I know that's like mean, but like that's what it really is. They made mistakes that I can look at and be like, oh, don't want to make those. If you buy eggnog at the grocery store, it's non-alcoholic and you can add your own rum. If you buy at a liquor store, it's very alcoholic. I've never had the British equivalent. Again, I want to see if Advocat is the same as eggnog. What's the difference between Advocat and eggnog? Okay. Both drinks begin in exactly the same way, whisking the egg yolks with the sugar until pale and thick. The difference is the eggnog is mixed with cream and egg, whereas the Advocat is thickened only by heating. I don't know how you say it, by the way. It's a Dutch drink. Advocat. Learn from others' experiences. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the big reason. Like, again, I don't want to use Dream as an example again because like let's not beat a dead horse or a dead speedrunning cheater. But like let's sorry, I'm just too funny. Like if you take another big YouTuber from this year, like actually wait, there's that guy Wadzy, I want to say is his name. Let's check his channel history. I bet he's grown in just the last year alone. Is it Wadzy? I think his name is Wadzy. He's an Australian dude. Wadzy Whitey, I want to say is his channel. Okay, so he's gotten 2 million subscribers, and almost all of those were in the last year and a half. In the last, actually, exactly almost a year. And now his channel is more than double as big as mine, both by subscribers and views. A guy who started a year, you know, and a lot of people look at that and go, oh, so, you know, that's a sign that YouTube favors new over old. And even though I could be bitter and be like, you know what, the reason he's doing better than me is because he cheats. He knows Susan personally. And it's very tempting to think that. Especially, like, there are specific categories where where you can be benefited just by knowing the right people. But instead, I like Wodsey from the couple videos of his that I've seen. But like, instead what it is like, he has the years of looking at the, I don't know who to name at this point, the Captain Sparkles from the Gen 1 and the, like all these YouTubers, you can look at them and see like what went well, what didn't. Because it's so hard to see when you're on the inside what's good and what's not. The reason so many YouTubers make videos that like aren't popular is because their understanding of what got them big and what did is so different. And I think starting a new channel, you hit 16 subscribers this year, that's something to be proud of. I honestly, like, to me, even if I stopped growing subscribers, like this is the thing. I'm saying this to not to be humble, but to try and be the opposite. The fact that I'm happy with 16 subscribers at 1.6 million, in case you're missing the joke. The fact that I'm not as motivated to be like, if I don't make it big today, I don't ever make it big. I genuinely think is holding me back. I like making videos on my second channel because it's like, oh yeah, that channel, when it grows 1,000 subscribers in a day, as it's been growing recently, it grew 1% of the entire total in a day. Whereas like, I don't know, it's just not, when you have an existing audience, it's hard to cater for both that audience and find a new audience, etc., etc. So, new YouTube channels can learn from the old audiences, try and pick up their subscribers, while also making things that no one's made before. It's a very interesting dynamic. New channel is crazy. I did it and got 200k in a month. Yeah, honestly, I think it's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. But I think the idea of, like, making new channels is, it shouldn't be encouraged by YouTube, but I feel like indirectly they are. Because they base it on your, like, existing, like, you want to have a channel with as few inactive subscribers and as many, like, passionate subscribers as possible. If so, you want to have a channel where you say at the end of every video, oh yeah, if you like this video, don't subscribe unless you really liked it. You gotta love this video. Fall in love with this MF, If you did the mental math, how much money do you make hourly in a 40-hour work week, says Ethan Nadeau. In the UK, like, I don't know, there's a certain level of talking money I don't mind. When you get too close, it's like, ooh. But I work more than 40 hours most weeks, I'd say. Recently, it's been going down. Like, when the things that I did to get where I was working more than 40-hour weeks. I feel like bad whenever I work only 40 or 50, like 10 hours a day, because I'm like, should have done more. Like if I wake up at 10 and I only make videos till 6, it's like, why have I got such a lazy day going? Which is it's maybe a toxic attitude, but like it's hard not to disassociate like the things you did to get where you were with what is healthy now that you are there. And vice versa. A lot of people are like, oh, once you make it, it's fine to only work 40 hours a week, but it's like, what about before you make it? You can't make it on only doing, whatever. Look, there's lots of thoughts I have right here. I have 19 subscribers. Congratulations, Pookie. Everyone subscribe to Pookie. And by everyone, I mean one person, so she can get 20 subscribers. If you see she's at 20, don't subscribe. I'm just kidding. Great way of getting new audiences. I started meme-style content, which I wouldn't do on my main. Yeah, exactly. You have a way of experimenting with new content without deeply offending people who are already subscribed. I'm a big believer in the whole, like, I thought since the beginning, like, everyone should, rather than having all your series on one channel, every series should have its own channel, and YouTube should, like, encourage that. I don't think they've actively tried to, but they accidentally have ended up down that kind of ladder, and I think that's very interesting. Am I the only one who's drunk AF and watching this only to watch something, says Palant? Oh, Cossie. See, you have a whole variety of viewers when you're on a stream. I have 21, Krusty winning as always. Hey, Krusty, I'm happy you're winning. Some would question what you're winning, but I don't question that. I only question what your real motive is. But yeah, I something I thought about recently. That wasn't this terrible bit, because I'm gonna put down the this drink is offending me so much. Now you work hard, it's obvious. I don't know. I find it very hard to internalize any comment being like, oh yeah, it's clear you work hard. It's like, nah, that's just a polite thing to say. And that's the thing, like, that's the annoying thing about, like, compliments that are also polite things to say. Like, no, you don't look fat in that dress. If I was a woman, I would never believe that I didn't look fat in a dress. Because, like, who's gonna say, yeah, you look really tubby in that one. Maybe you should switch it out, huh? Like, it's just, as a result, like, no one's ever gonna say, it looks like you don't really work that hard on your YouTube channel. It looks like you basically just take giant breaks and... Because, you know, if you look at my, like... If you look at the schedule I have in terms of, like, traveling in a normal year, I only went to one country in 2020. Can we all quickly... Oh, wait. 2 countries. 3 if you count transfers. I only went to 3 countries in 2020. Can we all appreciate for a moment how much Toy Cat's been putting in work to stop this You know, honestly, people say like, oh yeah, you know what, the pandemic's been stopped because people haven't been visiting their parents. You know what? If you visited your parents 5 times in a normal year and 0 times this year, not much. I went to 85% fewer foreign countries in 2020 compared to 2018. That is a huge reduction. So you don't look fat in that dress. Oh, thank you, Nick K. I know I don't look fat. I'm glad you're saying it. Pookie has 40 subs now. Oh no, do you actually have a channel with videos? I'm sorry that I sent people to that. Actually, I want to see this now. What do you put on your channel, Pookie? Let's find out. Oh, there's no longer an option to... Do I have to like search Pookie? Okay, you know what? That's more effort than I'm willing to put in. I wish it wasn't. I wish I wasn't lazy, but I'm not. Only free? I wish I could have gone free. Yeah, it was during like January I went to Norway. And then in February I went to America. And then in March I went to America. Wow, it's almost like I had a girlfriend who was living in America at the time. And then in June... Oh, I went to Turkey, 4 countries. No, it's 3 countries because I only transferred the 3rd. But when you live 10 minutes away from Belgium and 5 minutes from Germany, also I went to a few, I guess. I wanna live where you do, Peen. I want my life to be that life. Anyway, but going back to what I was saying. Pookie is famous now. I feel like she's already famous, you know? The number of people who have said they love the if you keep your expectations tiny, you won't be whiny. You know, she's a stream legend. And it's like how somehow everyone knows Harrison from like, you know, the 4th channel stuff, but also the references. Everyone knows Chantal because she's always moderating. Everyone knows even though he hasn't been here for months, everyone knows Commander Y, right? Like there's a notoriety level you can get on a Toy Cat stream. Why don't you play as the Ocelot skin? I am playing as the Ocelot skin. You're welcome, Johnny Vlogs. But anyway, so yeah, next time you don't have COVID, thank Toy Cat for not traveling to as many countries this year. Last year. Oh, it's this year still. 2020 is still existing. You know what? That is a shock to me. That's for sure. I watch your channel for the big salmon, says Asa. That's a joke I totally stole from Chantal, but now it's my joke. Damn it. Honestly, yeah, like people who only watch Java YouTubers, I just feel bad for them because like, oh no, there's a salmon nearby, but don't worry, it's big. Oh wait, it's not big because they play the wrong version without big salmon. Like I just feel so bad for anyone who watches Java channels only. At this rate, Pookie Helms is going to surpass PewDiePie. Also, why is the 4th channel's profile pic Longboy's butt? Oh, Harrison requested that, and I v'd. You know what? Screw it. Why not? You only live once, unless you're the Toy Cat plush. Elevator reviews. You know, escalator reviews. Like, you know, Toy Cat diversifying his content. Yeah, if there's one thing I've learned from this year, it's especially like the last month. I've been trying my best to like work flat out in December, but there's like a limit of what you can do while working on the same thing. I don't know, like I think diversifying is smart, not just because like it's fun, but also because I think doing things that are fun is important at all times. If I'm not actively like hyped about a thing, you know, that's the thing people are saying, like if you're not excited about a thing, people can tell. And I think that on YouTube it's more true than anywhere else. Like, you know, you can actively want to be doing what you're doing. When you work a job that is so rare and niche, people, you know, like where there's lots of people willing to take your spot any moment. Even though that's terrifying, it's important to think about it. Cute channel needs a cute pick. My channel's sad. It's all PS4 world, all jacked up after converting to Bedrock Edition. You're a PS4 player that got caught up in the move, huh? I find that interesting. Ever wonder how many people say stupid stuff on purpose just because they want you to acknowledge them on streams? Honestly, I would be so happy if that was true. If the only reason people said stupid stuff on streams was because they thought, oh yeah, I could confuse Toy Cat. Oh, my life would be so much happier. Like, oh, they're just dumb. They're just attention. Because at least attention grabbing I can understand. But the number of comments where I'm just like, how do I even? What am I meant to say to that? Like, you know, sometimes I send texts really lazily, and like every word is a typo, but at least the meaning is vaguely intelligible. But imagine like you're gonna tip your favorite streamer $5, or you're gonna, you know, leave your one message every 60 seconds or something, and imagine then deciding to be like, you know, stupid stuff, poop, poor sheep. You know, poor sheep's. At least that makes sense. At least I understand Sky Tolls. Sky Tolls? Tools. Sky Tolls. Tolls. Sky Tolles. At least I understand when Sky Tolles says that. That's not how they pronounce their name, but it is now. At least I understand that it's like, oh yeah, they're saying the sheep. You know, they're sorry about what happened to it. At least I can understand that. Anyway, you know, with that said, morning is the time that comes before evening. Asking a Toy Cat his favorite question, what's his favorite color? He'll say blue because something about his teacher asked or something. See, there we go. Everyone just asked me what my favorite color is so I can ignore you for a little bit. Sound good? Sounds good to me. So, oh, there was some grand point in there that I was going to miss. Yeah, you know, one of the things I did this year for the first time is, like, I did two merch things. I did the Toy Cat plush. Wait, I've got them both right here. Like, I actually like my merch. I did the Toy Cat plush, and then I did the longboi, and then also Benjamin has done the Christmas cat merch, which is still on sale until, like, both the longboi and the Christmas merch are on sale for another 3 days. Exciting stuff. Like, that was a difference from this year. Oh, also the map, you know, like, it's very interesting to see. Anyway, so something I was thinking, because, you know how I was saying, you know, the whole, like, talking about YouTubers and how, like, one of the things I'm so grateful for is that I basically got to learn from their mistakes. Like, seeing YouTubers make terrible mistakes. You know, the only use me blades of the world that just drink on stream until they do something dumb and then get banned from Twitch and lose their income and livelihood. You know, that is something to learn from. You know, that's why I'm always, even though, like, the idea of, like, oh, getting drunk and getting paid for it sounds fun, it's like, let's be very cautious, especially because, like, also, you know, you're a Minecraft YouTuber. There's going to be someone who tries to turn this into corrupting youth. Because, you know, like, 14-year-olds have no idea what alcohol is until they see Minecraft YouTubers drink it. And then they think it's cool and they start drinking it. That's just what happens. But I love my sweater, says McBella. I actually like mine too. I was impressed with how high quality they are. But if you know, like, learning from mistakes is valuable. And it's one of the things that I've liked most about this YouTube journey. Is, like, learning from successes is great, but successes on YouTube are temporary because they change the algorithm so often that, like, if something succeeds today, it probably won't succeed next year. That's just the reality that is this. But something that is, okay, here we go. And okay, we're gonna cover that too, it seems. But something that I think is interesting is, like, if we're always learning, do you think that one of the flaws in humans is, like, you know, we can always learn, but people tend to make the same mistakes over and over again. Like, people say, you know, like, history is repeating itself. And I think the thing people, the more, like, smart expression is, like, history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. It's not that the same thing happens over and over and over again in history, but the same, like, human causes lead to similar things happening time and time again. You know, the fact that there's not just one streamer who got into a whole, like, I like to drunk stream. Like, there's not just one streamer who, like, had a bad stream incident that ruined his career. and is now famous for it and like has to play into that and is now basically only loved when they troll people or rage on stream. The fact that that's not just a one-time thing, it's a common anecdote to learn from, is a reminder that not everyone learns from history. It's a reminder that history isn't being taken on. But I wonder, like, if we could learn, you know, this is one of those, like, thought experiments, I guess. If we could live forever, would we eventually learn everything? Because, you know, you can't experience everything. Ignoring the fact that, like, oh yeah, you can't experience what it's like to be a woman if you're a... I mean, I don't think that's a politically correct statement. Oh wait, actually, no, it is. It is. Wait, the correct theoryology on this is that if you are trans, that means you were never the gender that you were assigned at birth, and therefore you can't ever experience life as both a male and female, right? You can't ever experience life being born in another continent because you were only born in one place. There's so many experiences that you'll never learn. But as you age, at least you are picking up more of them. And some people choose to learn from them, some people don't choose to learn from them. But the thing I am very interested by is if we had no time limit, would we learn everything? Because, you know, like we're getting, as we get older, I think we're actually getting dumber. Like sorry, as a species, our life expectancy has gone from 60 to 80 in not that long a time period. The average human is living for like days longer every year. Like by the time that you are 80, the average life expectancy won't be, what is it? I think it's 78 in America and 81 in the UK. It's like 83 or 85 in Japan and Spain. But I think by the time you're that age, it's going to be like 86, 87. So like we're getting older. Trans people existing isn't political. I was saying it like correctly, right? I was saying you are assigned as one gender in your correct opinion. Like the political thing is, how do you say it, right? Like, there's like two fields of thought on the way trans works, right? You're either born as you either switch gender because you find dysphoria in your current gender, or you were incorrectly assigned that gender forever, right? Anyway, you're not... anything can be political if you try hard enough. Even if someone's saying, like, oh yeah, I just mean that I'm not going to experience, and most people aren't going to experience. And if you really do experience, you're always going to experience the gender that you are born as wrong because you feel like it's so wrong that you need to change gender or maybe switch to the gender that you were correctly assigned at birth. You're not... See, oh, I think I got the sex gender thing mixed up again. You know, see, it's that... I made a mistake right here, and there's a lot of people who aren't like, oh, Toy Cat, it's okay. You know, you clearly... Your intentions are well, you made a mistake. There are people like, oh my god, are you saying I don't exist? And it's like, no, I was making a point about human experiences. Everyone chat, tell me your favorite colors. I was making a point about human experiences, and somehow it's turned into a political minefield, right? Anyway, so Discord though, not a big fan of Discord. I genuinely think Discord needs to stop being a social media. Like having a Discord, thank you for the favorite colors, chat. I appreciate them. Toy Cat makes a comment and wades into some huge debate that he's not trying to. Part 158. Okay, so you know, like the fact that we all like immediately, you know, when we want to have a discussion on certain things, we're immediately into militant territory. That tells you that in some issues we're like more on some issues we are more attached to, because you know, like you might say like, oh well, these rights aren't up for discussion, but like how you administer rights definitely is, right? Like how of those opinions, Discord is hard work. Yeah, Discord is I'm done with the concept of it as social media. It's a great community if you're an extrovert and you love just talking to people all day long. Oh yes, Discord, so great. Yeah, everyone, tell me your favorite number now, because we've still got people continuing because I accidentally started talking about it some more. And we'll talk about the fact that, like, so we're growing older, and you'd assume therefore we'd be growing wiser. But I think we've got this, I think we've got a problem that we didn't, a lot of people who grow old now, thank you for your favorite numbers, friends. A lot of people who grow old now are like growing old in a way, you know, okay, wait, let me better express myself here. We are growing old, but we don't stress our brains as much. Once, you know, let's say, an interesting like counterpoint to the fact that we're always growing and learning experiences is that once I know what my favorite pasta is, why would I try another pasta after that? You could ask friends instead of chat. I'm sorry, chat. You're not really my... We're friends, but we're parasocial friends. Where, like, you know me significantly more than I know you. And, like, because of that parasocial dynamic, it means that there is more of an expectation of some form of time or financial investment to show that you're, like, you know, like, that's the easiest way to show your side of things, which is very parasitic in the real world, but is a great way to both... You know, like, you guys pay my hypothetical rent. Actually, you know, because I'm traveling, I'm by necessity being in a different country twice this next year. I have to rent a place. So my rent is paid via people who want to show that they enjoy my stuff enough to part with some of their financial things because they think that that's a fun way to support things. And therefore, you know, that would be a toxic real relationship. And maybe you could argue it's a toxic parasocial relationship. Maybe in like 5 years, we'll look at the live stream model where it's based on tips and people like Kid Dynamite becoming members. Also, Joe Matheson, I love Dairy Queen so much. One of the first things I'm getting if I'm going to Canada or America. Again, there's a lot of my life is entirely up in the air based on how people decide they want their governments to act. So thank you, thank you world for deciding that foreigners with the virus are more dangerous than your domestic people with it. That's how this works. But wait, my new idea, rather than asking people's favorite colors after I say something controversial, let's just double down on something else controversial. Like, you know what? I know that you're all busy thinking about how I said Palestine was a legitimate state by accident right there. But how about the death penalty? I think we should give the death penalty for dumb things. I think the death penalty should always be an option. You know, isn't it crazy that we're willing to like kill people for committing murder, but like if you're depressed and want to die and have been medically diagnosed, in most countries that don't have euthanasia, you're not allowed to die. If you want to die in a peaceful way, you have to kill someone. Like there's only a few countries like this, but America, for example, does have the death penalty, but no euthanasia. Isn't that crazy? Imagine that, right? Don't let Toy Cat pay his rent, says Worst Gamer 2008. You know what? Thank you for that. Oh, I've been working on my my second Ultra Hard Survival map recently, chat. Do you think that'd be fun to watch, or do you not want to see it until it's like... Because it's literally like in the very early stages. Like a lot of ideas are still going around. I've been like destroying and redoing stuff a few times. Do you think that'd be fun to watch as a stream? My job supports me, and with this, it's... Oh wait, Terracotta! Currently decorating my Minecraft Xmas tree with Never Stars and Mob Heads in legit survival. Is that too OP? You're putting Never Stars on your Christmas tree? Actually, I guess if you're going to use... Like, after Christmas, you take down the tree and you can use them. I actually really like that. I should build a Christmas tree in Minecraft. Yeah, I've been trying to work out, like, what to do for, like, Christmas Day. Because I don't want to be one of those YouTubers who's like, I'm taking Christmas Day off, like, gonna spend it with my family. No, I am your family.
Florida Cana is the best rum to put in eggnog. It's from Nicaragua. It's also good in an angel food smoothie from Smoothie King.
I will say, first of all, Smoothie King, a place I should clearly go. Second of all, the rum thing. My favorite rum is from Central America too. Isn't that crazy? I think it's... Oh no, my favorite rum's from Nicaragua as well. Is Nicaragua really good at making rum? Like I remember like one of my friends was telling me about it. He's like, oh yeah, it's like weaved by blind widows in Nicaragua. And I know he's joking, but he did get the country right. You know what? Isn't that crazy? Let me just actually check. Ron Zacapa. Nope, Guatemala. You know, what is it with Central American rum? I've never heard of it, but like if your favorite rum's from there, my favorite... What are they doing that involves all of this? I need to learn. You know what, chat? Someone tell me about the alcohol production of the Central of America and try to do it in 5 words or less. You know, we're busy on the internet. Who can bother that? One idea for ultra hard survival is you have to get water by drying a sponge in a furnace with a lava bucket. Fuel. Oh, that's a really cool idea. I like that. I definitely... I like weird, quirky things like that, so I definitely might do that. What lands would you claim as the Toy Cat Empire? The UK... I would take Kanzuk, you know? So Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. I'd add America. Wait, I'd add like 45 states from America. I'm gonna not claim Alaska or Hawaii. Because, you know, I'm sorry, Alaska and Hawaii. And while we're at it, I think I'm also gonna not claim you know, Florida, not part of the Toy Cat Empire. My favorite realm is Kraken. I like Kraken too. It's because pirates. Is that... You know, first of all, thank you for using 3 words. Cuban rum is far better. 5 words. My favorite. You know, quick take Greenland. 0 minute. I'll only drink water. What parts of the UK would you most likely sell as Prime Minister? Oh, you know what? First of all, second channel viewer right here. RafCO. Pranks. Showing off your Toy Cat knowledge right there. One of the old jokes, like, it's been... I just realized, as I said right there, like, one of the old, like, in-jokes from, like, 2012 was, like, Toy Cat knowledge. I think it ended with, like, all over your face, which is, I guess, again, the Minecraft space changed as I made videos on it, which I think is crazy. Like, also, where'd the sheep? Oh. Is Ireland part of the Toy Cat Empire? I'm not allowed to say that it is without getting bombed by an IRA figure, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm just saying. It's because pirates, says Elias Lawson. Do what you want because a pirate is free. They am some pirates. All of Central America. They is being pirates, and this is a song. No one gets it because I'm bad at singing. I'm going to stop now. Rum is made from sugarcane. Central America is made of sugarcane sugar. There we go. It all makes sense now, huh? It all makes sense now, huh? I know an old Toy Cat in joke. Toy Cat is yes. Somehow that one came back, right? Like, the Toy Cat is yes thing. Especially when I was going through that, like, second growth spurt from the weird communist videos. Somehow, that was a thing that went well. Is India in the Toy Cat Empire? Again, I have to delegate and not officially give an answer to that because of the... As a British person, you're meant to be like, oh yes, something would never. But wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Chile be making some sweet wine. Cuba making some sweet rum. You know, every country has like an alcohol they're famous for, I find. We need Toy Cat singing December Rewind. Anyway, so I wonder, you know, because on the surface it seems like we learn more as we grow older. But also, it's a stereotype, whether it's true or not, you can debate. The like older people are, they're like more maybe ignorant, you know, like less aware of the world around them. Like once I've found my favorite pasta, once I found my favorite burger, why am I gonna find another one? Also, how do you eat octopus? I have eaten octopus before. I think I've only had octopus sushi and like fried like octopus like what's it called when you put it in when you fry it and put it in breadcrumbs in a gari? No, not in. It's the word escapes me, but like fried octopus is delicious. Calamari. No, that's... calamari is surprisingly like a European thing. Our minds kind of shut off when we get old. But the way I see it is like... We get... you know, I like to describe intelligence as like 2 things. There's like... You know, there's like knowledge intelligence, which is having learned a lot of things. But the way more important thing that no one thinks about is like fluid intelligence. Being able to apply your knowledge from problem A into problem B, even when they don't have everything in common, that's an important thing that for some reason we just don't really teach. I guess maybe you can't teach it. Maybe it's inherent and people are getting smarter. But like that's why some people are really good with computers and can pick up coding instantly, and why I've tried to code for so many years of my life. I went to programming school. I've tried like 5 or 6 different languages. I can write very, very, very basic HTML by memory. Everything else, I take something and I can modify it, and I can't do anything else. Like I can jam, I can bodge, I can play around with stuff. But people who can like write code from scratch or make things they want to do from near scratch. It's genuinely mind-blowing. I had a coder I hired when I was like 14. He was like 20-something, and I tell the story all the time because I just find it hilarious. And he was like, you know what? Every time you pay me, the money's going to fund terrorism because I'm going to use it to buy drugs. It was a weird guy, but he was a very friendly guy from the UK who would code for me. And like the fact that like he could be very big on his drugs, but also, you know, like which is traditionally associated with like not intelligence, but also could like do some amazing. Actually, he was towards the end he got really bad at coding, but it's a whole thing, right? I know 12 programming languages. See, right? That's crazy. It's that you might as well tell me you can speak 12 languages. You know, there are some people who have to learn a language by like, oh yeah, you learn the language and then you get it. There are some people who like once they learn a language can apply the lessons like, oh yeah, I learned French, so like learning Spanish was only a few extra hours of work. It's like, wait, what? Because, you know, some people learn a language by learning all the phrases and bits they need to learn. Some people can learn the structure, the very concept of language. I made fried calamari. Getting a squid is weird. Oh, I don't like to imagine getting a squid. I'm not going to imagine getting a squid, Elias. After Christmas break, I'll start a programming called I am. You know, maybe I missed a joke there. I'm sorry. I'm one of those neat scratch guys that want to pick through Bedrock source. I learn to play piano in a week. See, some people are really good at music and they, you know, like, but you can be good at the piano and then it's crazy hard for you to learn guitar. You can be crazy good at X thing, but it's hard to do Y thing. But the ones that really impress me are people who are like, oh yeah, I learned to do this thing, and as a result, I can do 12 other things because I can see the similarities there. Like seeing, this is how a lot of like IQ tests try to measure. IQ is dumb, by the way, but like IQ tests are trying to measure like how well can you, you know, like how well can you take this one thing into other things. Like the way one of my science teachers explained it to me, and I hate this, but maybe you like it, is like if you've got a brick, how many ways can you use a brick? To make a wall, to smash through a window, etc., etc. The more ways you can use that brick, the more like, the more fluid and dynamic your thinking is. You know, lots of people can speak languages, and it's crazy, right? I have tried learning languages so much. Like, I travel, I have opportunities to practice them. At one point, I went to Germany like 20 times in the space of a year. I was in Germany, like, speaking German to people. Still, now, even after all of that, I can speak about 20 words. Actually, probably more like 50 or 100 words of German. Like, hallo, ich bin Deutschland und willkommen, Menschen. There we go. That's as far as I can get. Die Bahn ist schnell. Die Bahn sehr schnell. Like, I can say so little German. After like, and there are some people who have spent like a similar time, like just learning the theory. They're like, oh yeah, I know all the Romance languages now. And it's like, wait, what? I've tried learning like a lot of Germanic languages, and I see the commonalities between them, but it's still like, oh god, this is hard. Human languages are harder than computer ones. I think people have like different brains that are wired for that. I think for you, if you can speak 12, if you can code in 12 languages, that's like, you clearly are someone who has a better brain for maths and numbers and logic than you do for sentence structure and linguistics and whatever else, right? Spielkatz ist ja. There we go. We can both speak a bit of German. But every time I try to speak German in Germany, people just switch to English anyway, because they're like, you know, I'm not going to bother with this. Just, hello, how are you doing? Which I thought was funny. Like, there's only been one situation in my life where I've had to speak a language that wasn't English, and I didn't speak enough English for the situation anyway. Except it's Deutschbahn, the sehr langsam. Deutschbahn ist sehr langsam. There we go. Die Toycat ist stark. I'm gonna stop speaking German. This is dumb. For most people, you're just like, Toycat's just saying, like I'm talking dumb, simple German, and everyone's like, well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. The Germans are like, oh no, not this again. You know what? We dealt with the British enough when they bombed what's that city? You know, we dealt with the British enough when they They bombed, what's the big city that was unnecessarily bombed in World War II? It's like to the south, Dresden. You know, we dealt with this enough in the Dresden bombings. We thought it was a little bit insulting that you firebombed an entire city to the ground, even though it was a military target. We thought that was maybe a little bit too far. But then you set the toy cat on that Dresden. Thank you. I'm sorry. You know, I think it's cool that like everyone has their own little specialities in the world. I've gone over this a billion times though, so I'm not gonna beat that dead horse again. What I am gonna beat though is Minecraft in under an hour sometime soon, huh? I was on a school trip in Germany, had to buy something from a cafe from patrons who knew no English. End up with some big potato thing. Oh yeah, that's the first time I went anywhere, I just like pointed at things. Pointing is so successful because most retail transactions, the words are kind of a secondary formality. Also, hi Sen, IBX Lily Cat Good Flanog Norgay. It blew my mind that Norgay was not Norge, because that's how I always pronounced it. So I was like, you know, Toy Cat, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or ironic, but it's not Norge. I was like, oh, well, I feel silly. I was surprised how similar Portuguese and Spanish are, says Dang Ellie. Yeah, Portuguese and Spanish are similar enough that it only works one way. Portuguese people can speak to Spanish people, and the Spanish person can understand them. But if the Spanish person speaks to the Portuguese person, they'll have no idea what they're saying. I wish I understood how that worked. And, you know, I secretly don't believe it because I don't believe anything I can't see because I'm a terrible human being that should trust other people more. But, I find it very bizarre as well. You're not the only one. But yeah, so anyway, like, one of the things that we, like, all like to believe is, like, we're getting smarter as we get older because we're learning from experiences. And that is definitely true. We're getting, like, experientially older. You know, this is that, like, different types of knowledge, right? But your fluid knowledge, your ability to just learn a new thing because you learned an existing thing. Like, you know, I had a really good feel for how Thailand would be because I'd been to Japan. That sounds dumb, but, like, I knew how to deal with all of the worrying situations anyway. So I was like, oh yeah, I've dealt with that. I've been to Indonesia, I've been to Singapore, I've been to Japan. I know about the weird, awkward foreigner situations. I'm assuming there's going to be the same ones, except probably fewer because Bangkok is the most visited city in Asia. I think maybe the world, actually. But, like, you know, and it turned out, like, oh yeah, I use that's a really dumb example, and, like, someone's going to be like, I don't understand that. But using knowledge from... Like, I feel like a lot of people who are old are just like, oh yeah. You start to overdo that, where you're like, oh yeah, I went to Sudan in 1996. I think I'll be fine going to South Africa. Or like, you know what, I visited Germany before the fall of the Cold War. So the Berlin Wall. So I think I'll be fine going to Moldova. Thank you very much. It's like, you know, starting to over use experience rather than knowing. You know, once you start to over assume your own characteristics, maybe that's when you start to make mistakes as well. And the older you are, the more like it's easy to get trapped in that. I know what I'm trying to say right here is that, like, I wonder if we actually go the opposite way. If the older we start living, the slower we start moving as people. Because the fastest movement we've ever had in society was when the average age was between about 35 and 60. And as we've been going older and older than that, things are starting to slow. And that's probably coincidence. Most people would suggest that that's not related. And so I'm not going to suggest, like, it's definitely what it is. But I'm just saying, what if it was? Wait, chat, what if we could do the calculations? This is a heartless argument because, like, you're always talking about theory. What if we had the hard facts, the data, that we could prove that, like, oh yeah, if we kill all the old people right now, anyone above the age of 65, actually not 65, let's go with 70. Once you hit 70, we put you in the murder machine. If we could do that, hypothetically, and we knew the benefits were huge, like every single human being will be healthier because all the healthcare spending is directed to them. Every human being will be richer because of, like, inheritance. but also like society moves in some faster direction. You know, like in the future we'll be able to undo it. Would it be worth temporarily putting that in? You know, until we had the thing. If we could kill all the old people at the same time, anyone over the age of 70, you know, like would you be like, oh yeah, we throw them into the murder machine, they no longer have their lives, and we could prove it was a good idea, you know, at least on economic and because obviously socially it's a terrible idea. We shouldn't kill. Good thing you already scared away the grandma that watched you. You know, statistically, someone watching this is over the age of 70. I'd like to clarify, I don't want you to die, grandma. Please don't. I would like you to not be. But would you take that social cost, even if you got the economic, the health, the societal benefits, or would you say that the benefits of all those things do not outweigh the downsides that come with that? Also, how long has this cave existed? Have I just not tortured? You know, I'm gonna torch it up. Just there's iron ore. You know, it's been here this whole time. I've spent hours covering it, and there's just a giant cave system under the mountain. Okay, I'm gonna put a bunch of torches so I remember to come back down here. Your last year becomes 69. Nice. That's what COVID is the dang LA. You know, I don't even make my terrible joke there. You know, I feel like after making a comment like that, I can't be like, well, you know what? Something pension reform in America. But one of the interesting things we actually do is whenever we have people living longer, we be like, oh yeah, but like, you know, let them do it by themselves. And then we see old people in poverty and we're like, this is not okay. Like working your whole life and then not having enough money to live in retirement is like it's a tragic thing that like a lot of societies. I think this should be Netherrack actually. I'm gonna place some Netherrack over here. And it's a really interesting like it's a really interesting hole we end up in where we're like, oh yeah, we have to pay the number of people working goes down, therefore the number of like people who can't work because their bodies fundamentally don't work. I'm waiting for my parents sleep to smoke a banger joint, says Tech Nugget. You know, the comments on these streams are so interesting sometimes. I hope you enjoy your banger joint. No, because the goal isn't societal progress. Humans and humanity is a goal in itself. Yeah, I do. Personally, I do agree with that. I think we often forget that, like, you know, we have metrics to measure society, but, like, human life is really just a lot of humans living life. How do we go from learning languages to killing elders? I mean, hypothetically, right? If we had one big event that just killed a bunch of... You know, what if one of the big... Because, you know, there's... So one of the things that I genuinely believed was a conspiracy, and is very conspiratorial linked. You know, in the same way that, like, there are actually some negative side effects from vaccines sometimes, and anti-vaxxers take those and try to blow them out of proportion. You know how people who are, like... you know, there's, like, people who are anti... What's a big conspiracy theory? Like, people who believe that JFK was shot by the government. It's like, oh yeah, he did actually upset the government. They had the motive. You know, like, they're always taking one element and expanding it to look like it's the whole story. Because that's how we tell stories. We tell the stories, parts of the stories we like the most, and we leave out the parts we don't like. You know, which is a problem, I would say, but whatever for now. Hi, Toget, what do you think the best invention was in the last 50 years, says Blaster Boy? To me, I genuinely think the one that'll make the biggest difference in saving the planet as well as damaging it in this hilarious, ironic twist of fate is commercial air travel. I know it vaguely existed before then, but now it's like jet age propelled. You can be in any country on Earth less than 36 hours from when you jet off, no matter which one you start in. Maybe minus COVID times. JFK's head just did that. Exactly, no one shot JFK. Does anyone have any proof? Do you guys have the bullet? I don't see a bullet, right? Moon landing deniers. I'm really upset. You know, in the same way I upset the old person when I had a grandma who watched me until I said something that disappointed her. I'm sorry, grandmas of the world. I don't want you to die. I talk about hypotheticals all the time. Doesn't mean I want you to not be alive and human. You're the most important humans to me, grandmas. How else are we gonna get our cookies? Anyway, so I bu- 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 yeah, okay, got lost there. So one of the I think jets have brought people closer together than ever, and I think that is one of the biggest reasons. Like, you know, it's so dumb that this is how it was, but one of the reason that Kyoto wasn't bombed in World War II, like they were gonna drop a nuke on Kyoto, and all of that history that we now get to look at would have been annihilated, is because one of the guys who had like a say in dropping the nuke was like, I went there on my honeymoon, I liked it, please let's not bomb it. People don't want to bomb places that they have some connection to, and now because of commercial air travel, everyone is connected all over the world. You know, like when America was basically just Europe Part 2, like filled with Europeans, etc., etc., etc. When that was true, you know, like it was particularly close to Europe. Like, you know, here's an interesting one. America didn't want to join World War II, partially because there were a lot of German Americans who were like, would have been upset with it because they saw Germany as not being so bad because of the Holocaust. But during World War II, people didn't know about Holocaust, which like kind of a big deal in my opinion. So, you know, because of the fact that there are Germans in German America, less likely to invade, right? Still are a lot of Germans in America. Still are a lot of Europeans in America. And therefore, like, America has a more friendly policy towards Europe than perhaps it might otherwise have. By, like, mixing, all the mixing that we do, even though, like, some people are, like, purists who think that, like, you shouldn't mix the cultures. Like, that is one of the things that keeps us safest. The best thing you can do for humanity, if you fear for your geopolitical future and you're worried that your government's going to nuke China and then China's going to nuke you and you're all going to die, is, you know, go find... actually, you know, you meant to say this. You know, you knew where that sentence was going, but I think you get in trouble for saying words like that. But you know, if you were to go to China and fall in love, you would be linking your countries by just one more little thread. One more voter in America and one more citizen that definitely gets a very fair and democratic say in China would be a thing. I prefer philosophy over conspiracy theory because sometimes they can become true. What if all conspiracy theories are true and we're all dumb for believing the version where it's not? I should return to Nuke Train. I'm glad nothing changed while I was gone. This is good stuff. But obligatory ask for a set seed speedrun on seed 0. I think set seed speedruns on set seeds that aren't the most efficient seed are questionable at best. That's just my opinion. Can anyone prove playing Minecraft and creative is the wrong way to play? Creative Minecraft survival's been around for 11 years. Creative's been around for 8. Checkmate. Oh wait, I think 9 maybe. You know, it's survival mode's been around for longer. Check, yeah, got you there. Go find a wife. Toycat talks world peace. Right? I think that should be like. It's interesting because there's a lot of people who don't like. There's a lot of people with strong in. What am I smelling right now? I'm gonna make sure that everything's okay outside my door. Huh, it smells in this room only. I wonder why it smells in here. Which China? One of the many Chinas. Wasn't there creative before survival? There was a version of creative before survival, actually, so you can make that argument there. And the house fire is here. Yeah, I was thinking like, you know, did someone fart in here? And then I was like, you know, I think I'd know if I farted. Also, it's really easy to train yourself to like the smell of your own farts, even though, like, it's impossible to like anyone else's, I'm convinced, unless you become like a fart deviant. But yeah, I looked up. They were gonna bomb cookie. Yeah, it's fascinating how that goes. Speedrunning set seeds hypothetically makes you better at Minecraft. Yeah, I think I need to do some more set seed running, but all set seed running is done in old versions. I don't want to do it in new versions, and like, you know, it's. I go down a lot of trains, and then I'm like, you know, I have way more fun doing these chill streams anyway. And I worry I'm like milking the. I worry I'm like milking the cow, milking the horse, milking the idea a little bit too much whenever I like do speed running multiple times in a week. And I don't know, I don't like that. I want to do something because I'm passionate, not because I'm like, ooh, I've done the maths and XYZ success rates. So we're going to pick up this box now, and we're going to go find another one. Probably up top of the mountain. Yeah, this is definitely going to become the Bastion stream, where I'm just going to do this a trillion times. Pick up this box now. And now let's go find another one. Hi, Toy Cat. I recently discovered the best seed ever on Minecraft. DM me if you're interested. I email it to my assistant, toycatassistant@gmail.com. Everyone who thinks they found the best seed, statistically, most of them have not. It's that thing where we're very bad at estimating our place in the world. You know how, like, people who get very competent at something, like, you know, Pookie with her 12 program languages, either she was gloating just then, like, yeah, I can speak 12, but, like, you know, no big deal. You know, doing, you know, like, all the things, like, they seem like they're humble brags. I really just like, oh, yeah, those are just normal things to me. I know people who can program in much more than 12 languages. Milking the horse. You know, you can milk a horse. Just go to Kazakhstan. It's definitely a white... I feel like horse milk is huge in Mongolia, maybe. There's a country where horse milk is, like, big because they have more horses than cows. I don't know whoever came up with the idea of milking horses, but I'm not a fan. Honestly, I'm not a fan. It's like, know any fun end projects? Try making a village in your end. That is my genius idea I would like to share with you. Milking the mushrooms. You know, I'm just trying to get some stew. Oh yeah, would you like to, let me know. Would you like to see a stream of me working on my ultra hard survival map? I'd like to know, for sure. Mongolia has horse milk. Hey, I was right. Hey, kid. I was right. Speaking of things that are right. So, I was feeling really down over the last weekend, to be honest with you. Because, like, everything I'd planned for a while felt like it was crumbling down. And I figured, you know, the only way to be happy is food. You know, you overeat like crazy. And so I bought a bunch of Christmas food. I just went to the store. I got some carrot cakes. I got some... it's not Christmas food, I just like it. I got myself some... Also, thank you, Blaster Boy. It's okay, you missed my last donation. It's okay. Also, I caught your last donation. I said commercial air travel. What small thing annoys you the most? The small thing that annoys me the most is when people say I missed their chat because they didn't catch it. Rawr. I'm old and programming languages fall out of fashion quite often. Yeah, you said you were 49, which blows my mind that you're actually, like, not only a computer programmer, but it sounds like a good one too. Because in my mind, like, every programmer is, like, age 20 to 30. And above that age, people just start, like, becoming managers because, like, again, fluid IQ, static IQ, etc. But you taught me that I should not judge a book by its cover. Speaking of not, which is, you know, for the record, always sounds like it's a good idea. But what happens when there's an art contest? Should we judge the book, or should we judge, you know, anyway, this is a terrible joke. But you know it isn't a terrible joke. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I like carrot cakes too. Michelle OO. Because I'll see you all in the next one. Unless I die in a house fire. Also, yeah, I'll probably do some streaming tomorrow for Ultra Hard Survival. Because I'm having a lot of fun with that. Goodbye. Oh yeah, I'm going to put my... You know what? I'm going to do this after stream anyway. So if you want to hang out, like, this is a dumb... I'm going to put my shulker boxes away. I did organizing of my chests in Minecraft. Are you all proud? I hope you are. And one of the things I need to do now is put my empty shulker boxes back away. As you can see, I'm starting to, like, collect a lot of them. I almost have too many shulker boxes, actually. But that's a good problem to have in the grand scheme of things. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this stream. Because I'll see you in... Where do I put the white wall? I guess it goes there. Because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Where does this quartz go? You're not just in there for now. Whew. Next mega project, you start a timer so you can see how long it takes. It's a good idea, El Kid. It's a good idea. But yeah, have a good rest. Have a good evening. Have a great evening, in fact, because you never know when there's a fire coming your way, or 2 fires, or 3 fires in a trench coat. You just don't know until it's too late. And the only way you can stop that is by doing your best. So yeah, I'll be streaming on Christmas Eve. That's Thursday, and maybe tomorrow as well. Have a good night, internet. Have a good night. Also, when will your map release? Wait, actually, no. I want to tell this story. Okay, so this Let's Play world that you're gonna see on the marketplace soon. A lot of people want to explore it. People have been asking forever. I want a map download, but like people don't know how to download it on their Xboxes or whatever. So I'm releasing my map on the marketplace. It will cost 490 minecoins, which I think is just under $3. Which is fine. If you don't want to do that, you can whatever. But if you do want it and you've been curious, how has it been? Like, what's happening with that map? Let me tell you the latest update, because I really enjoy this. So the latest update on the map, you know, the very, very successful map that's been going through the Microsoft process. The latest update, because they wanted some like content, so if someone had no idea who I was, they could still enjoy the world. So there's a 12 music disc hunt. There's a 12 music disc hunt. You have to find all 12 music discs, and they spent a week searching for those discs and couldn't find them, and as a result, I had to give them. So like the discs are, and then when we tried to find them, neither me nor Deshi, the person who helps me with these, could find those 12 discs. We could find 10, but we were missing 2, and so as a result, if you want to do a disc hunt on this world, just know that not only could Microsoft not do it, not only could Deshi not do it, but when I looked, I couldn't find them all either, because apparently I hid them that well, maybe. So yeah. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all later. Unless I don't see you, in which case... I hope I... Wait, one more thing. Good idea, Lyrizos MC. I didn't simp the longboi long enough. Literally, this is the last time I'm gonna even mention it. We have 521 longboys sold. We've reached the target where it's funded. I'm telling you this if you want one of these yourself. This is a limited time product. There is 2 days, 23 hours to get one. After that time, never again. So you want a cute longboi? Of course you want a cute longboi. There's 2 days to get one. They're 20% off. They ship worldwide now, including India. So yeah, no you hang up. No you hang up. No you hang up. Goodbye. Look how cute it is. You might think that you're sad over this Christmas period, but the longboi's here for 3 more days. And you should get it. Goodbye.